Chapter 1666. The laws and willpower of the tribulations were the most complete. Of course, no one would think of using these laws and willpower during the tribulations. This was because the tribulations were deadly. If one wasn't careful, they would be destroyed by the tribulations and be consigned to eternal damnation. Knight Sorrow was very stable now. His leakless true body was consumed by the tribulations of wind and fire. If he ran out of energy first, he would be destroyed by the tribulations of wind and fire. If the energy of the tribulations of wind and fire was exhausted first, he would become an emperor. Therefore, if he could comprehend it now, he would naturally do so. Knight Sorrow's body was surrounded by the destruction divine wind. However, there was also the rolling destruction willpower in the destruction divine wind. The destruction willpower wasn't driven by the destruction divine wind. It existed independently and belonged to Knight Sorrow. A genius. No wonder Lin Piamiao thinks highly of him. However, our Heaven's Vault tribe wants this person. Whether he accepts our recruitment or not, we have to control him. Before Lin Piamiao reacts, we have to deal with him, Heaven's Vault High Priest said. Commander Yu and the two men who came later nodded. Knight Sorrow's destruction willpower didn't stop after reaching the 7-star King realm. It continued to increase, but the speed was slower. After all, the remaining 30% of the destruction willpower wasn't that easy to capture. The soul-extinguishing flame burned, trying to drill into Knight Sorrow's spirit sea and destroy his soul. The destruction divine wind rolled around Knight Sorrow's body, trying to take away his life force. One was from the outside in, the other was from the inside out. They were two different extremes. Knight Sorrow's leakless true body locked his body, not letting the soul-extinguishing flame enter his body, and not letting his life force be taken away by the destruction divine wind. The soul-extinguishing flame burned more vigorously, and the destruction divine wind became more violent. However, Knight Sorrow was still as gentle as Mount Tai. The intensity of the destruction divine wind made it easier for Knight Sorrow to comprehend the destruction willpower. This guy is still enjoying it, Commander Yu muttered. At this moment, many people were watching. After all, the wind and fire tribulations of Emperor Realm weren't easy to see. Some heaven monarchs would break through in secret places, or under the protection of their sects and elders. This way, they wouldn't be exposed in front of others. Time slipped away bit by bit. Knight Sorrow endured the tribulation of wind and fire. No one could feel how strenuous it was for Knight Sorrow. That was the truth. Knight Sorrow was using the myriad Daos treasured tome to activate the virtuous immortal body. What he was using was the space-time energy. Knight Sorrow knew what to do. If the energy in his body was not enough, he would use his Zhenqi of Void. Even if he ran out of Zhenqi of Void, he still had destruction energy and death energy. He would have no problem recovering unless the wind and fire calamity changed. Knight Sorrow had taken 2 days to teleport to the Heaven's Vault tribe, but Lin Xianer had taken more than half a day to arrive. When Lin Xianer arrived at the Heaven's Vault tribe, she changed into a golden battle suit with a long sword hanging from her waist. This was the attire of the ethereal battle emperor, Lin Piamiao. She didn't want Knight Sorrow to know that Lin Xianer was the misty battle empress, and didn't want to ruin their friendship. Besides, Lin Xianer wouldn't be able to control the situation even if she came. Lin Piamiao even felt that a clone wouldn't be enough. Lin Piamiao is here. She's fast. Looks like things aren't going so smoothly. Heaven's High Priest looked in the direction that Lin Piamiao had come from. So fast. Ethereal Imperial City needs close to 2 days to teleport here. That brat has only broken through for less than a day. Commander Yu said in surprise. Looks like that brat has a clone in Ethereal Imperial City. Lin Piamiao immediately knew about his tribulation. Heaven's High Priest fell into deep thought. At this moment, Lin Piamiao appeared. She appeared near Knight Sorrow in the blink of an eye. Battle Empress, why are you in the mood to visit my Heaven's Vault tribe? Heaven's High Priest greeted. I'm not in the mood. It's just that the overlord of my ethereal dynasty is breaking through. I'm here to protect him. Could it be that Heaven's High Priest is here to comprehend something? Lin Piamiao asked. He's the overlord of the ethereal dynasty? From what I know, the overlord belongs to the ethereal dynasty. Lord Battle Empress, You don't have to be so nervous, right? Heaven's high priest said with a smile. Does it matter if he's an overlord or not? What matters is that he's from the ethereal dynasty. That's enough. Lin Pumiao said. Ethereal Battle Empress, this is the Heaven's Vault tribe. It's better not to speak too loudly, Commander Yu said. Who are you to speak here? If I want to kill you, he can't stop me. Lin Pumiao snorted coldly. The he she was referring to was naturally High Priest Piao Miao. Commander Yu, don't be rude. Heaven's High Priest waved his hand at Commander Yu. He didn't say anything else, but his fingers trembled and light emitted from them. A moment later, Heaven's High Priest raised his head. Since he's someone that Ethereal Battle Empress thinks highly of, I'll give in this step. Lord Piao Miao, you must remember the Heaven's Vault tribe's kindness. Let's go. After speaking, Heaven's High Priest left Heaven's Vault cliff with Commander Yu. Lin Piao Miao stabbed the sheathed longsword in her right hand into the ground. Her eyes behind the veil scanned the surroundings. Unrelated people, retreat 30 miles. After hearing the conversation between Ethereal Battle Empress and Heaven's High Priest, the onlookers knew Ethereal Battle Empress's identity. No one questioned Ethereal Battle Empress's words. They all retreated 30 miles. Commander Yu, who had left Heaven's Vault cliff, was puzzled. High Priest, we should kill that kid. This is equivalent to giving the Ethereal Dynasty a heaven-defying seedling. He's a virtuous person. Killing him will harm our own luck. Also, if we don't leave now, Lin Piamiao's true body will come. She'll attack you. What you said just now triggered her killing intent. Her true body will arrive in an hour, Heaven's High Priest said. He didn't speak just now because he was using the art of destiny to deduce. Commander Yu was stunned for a moment, because he hadn't expected this. Lin Piamiao's direct combat ability is strong. It's hard for me to restrain her. So there's no need to go against her. Heaven's High Priest explained the reason why he let go. He didn't want to go against Lin Piamiao. After Lin Piamiao's true body arrived, she merged with her doppelganger and stood there watching Night Sorrow go through the wind-fire tribulation. Night Sorrow comprehended the will of destruction during the wind-fire tribulation. Lin Piamiao was very impressed. In the past, no one had done this. It could be said that no one had the spare energy to do so. But now, Night Sorrow's will of destruction was increasing to a visible degree. Lin Piamiao didn't let down her guard. Heaven's High Priest wasn't a simple person. It was hard to say if he would really retreat because his reputation wasn't very good. He didn't care about face when doing things. He only pursued the greatest benefits. Night Sorrow was now fully focused on resisting the wind-fire tribulation and comprehending the will of destruction. He didn't know what was happening outside. At this time passed very slowly. The people watching from afar were all paying attention to Night Sorrow's situation. Because if the cultivation went smoothly, they might also reach the same level as Night Sorrow. It was better to have a situation to learn from. After the will of destruction reached completion, it didn't stop. But Night Sorrow's divine wind of destruction and soul-extinguishing flame had already started to weaken. Lin Piamiao even felt that if the wind-fire tribulation passed later, it would be more beneficial for Night Sorrow. If the will of destruction reached completion and entered the Emperor realm, that would be amazing. Speak. The second update has arrived. Thank you to a Chunxian trading company for your protection. Also, I haven't exploded recently. Let me explain. Recently, there's been no electricity at home. I've been going out to look for electricity. I use my notebook to write, and then use my phone to send books. It's already not easy to maintain a minimum of 4 updates. I've persevered a lot. So I don't need to gain sympathy, but I will work hard to do what I should do. When the electricity comes, I will explode. The one who wants to explode the most is not only the fans, but also myself. The effort and the reward are proportional. I also want to write more. Of course, I won't fill it up. Chapter 1667. The destructive wind weakened? Night Sorrow still felt that it wasn't enough. Next, the destructive intent vibrated, increasing the intensity of the destructive wind. Then he continued to comprehend the destructive intent within. Crazy. At this moment, Yishang was acting very crazily. Other people would be eager to pass their tribulation as soon as possible, but what about Yishang? What he needed to do now was to stimulate the divine wind of destruction, increase its violence, and stimulate its will to manifest. Lin Piamiao felt that she had been daring all this time, but compared to Night Sorrow, she was still a little lacking. One had to know that the tribulation had many variables. Passing it first was the safest thing to do. After all, there were still many opportunities to comprehend the intent. Night Sorrow was taking a risk. Translator, Nyoibo Studio Editor. Nyoibo Studio. In fact, Night Sorrow was very confident. He still had 80% of the void chi in his body. He could deal with any unexpected situations. Many people understood what Night Sorrow was doing. They were all very impressed. At this time, Lin Piamiao looked up at the sky. There was a strong energy fluctuation. Just as Lin Piamiao was worried, there was a singing sound in the sky. Then, golden lotuses appeared and floated in the sky. Then one by one, they fell towards Night Sorrow. Light of merit. It was the light of merit descending. After Night Sorrow entered the Emperor realm, he attracted the heavenly tribulation. Naturally, he was covered by the heavenly law. His merit from killing evil spirits in the evil Punisher land was naturally discovered by the heavenly law. Therefore merit descended. Sound of nature. Golden lotuses blooming in the sky. This is the scene right now. It was difficult to obtain merit in a small or high-level world because the living beings you benefited were limited. But in the celestial realm, there were countless living beings. Night Sorrow killed thousands of evil spirits this time. To the celestial realm, it was immeasurable merit. The golden lotus of merit was very domineering. It directly dispersed the soul-extinguishing flame and entered Night Sorrow's spirit sea. Night Sorrow's leakless true body couldn't block it. The golden lotus of merit directly entered his spirit sea. Night Sorrow's head was covered in the golden light of virtue, and his body was wrapped in the divine wind of destruction. Wind of destruction strengthen. Night Sorrow felt that he now had some ability, so he opened his mouth and said, following the words of Night Sorrow in the mansion of Night Sorrow, the divine wind of destruction on his body had indeed strengthened a little. Words were law. Although Night Sorrow's merit cultivation had not reached the level of the merit heavenly lord, it had reached the critical point of the merit grand sage. After saying that, Night Sorrow continued to comprehend the will of destruction. Too monstrous. This was Lin Piamiao's evaluation of Night Sorrow. Not only was he able to increase the might of the tribulation, but he also dared to increase the might of the tribulation. This was definitely unprecedented. Night Sorrow was still comprehending, but when his will of destruction reached 90% and reached the level of an overlord, the destructive wind dissipated. Night Sorrow did not use the power of the deluxe merit grand sage anymore. Some things could only be done once. There was no benefit in going against the will of the heavens. The destructive wind dissipated, and auspicious clouds appeared in the sky, landing on Night Sorrow's body. The heavens rewarded him with energy. Night Sorrow used his leakless true body to wrap all the energy into his body, so that it would not dissipate. Then, Night Sorrow stood up and looked at Lin Piamiao. Although he had been in the midst of the tribulation, Night Sorrow still knew some things. He knew that Lin Piamiao was guarding him. Congratulations. Lin Piamiao extended her right hand and grabbed the long sword. Thank you for protecting me. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Lin Piamiao. It's nothing. Lin Xianer informed me, so I naturally had to protect you. Moreover, you are the leader of the Misty Dynasty. I can't let any Tom, Dick, or Harry disturb your breakthrough. Lin Piamiao said. War Emperor? Hearing Lin Piamiao's words, Night Sorrow had more or less guessed. Of course, he did not know about the conversation between Lin Piamiao and the High Priest. Yes, it's me. Are you all right now? Lin Piamiao nodded and asked. Very good. My space-time attribute has entered the Emperor realm. However, my other comprehensions are still lacking. Night Sorrow turned to look at the sky cliff. You want to comprehend the will. I will find a place for you. This is not a good place. The High Priest has been here before. Lin Piamiao could see that Night Sorrow did not want to leave. However, this was the territory of the Sky Cliff tribe. Lin Piamiao was not afraid. However, if Night Sorrow stayed here, it was hard to say what would happen. She could not stay here forever because the Zhaohua dynasty and the Celestial sect were not very obedient. Thank you, War Emperor. Let's go. Night Sorrow nodded. Then Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao left the Sky Cliff tribe and teleported back to the Misty dynasty. At that moment Yishan, who was inside Yeyue Manor, had returned to his normal state. However, the aura emanating from his body had changed. Yishan's figure appeared illusory. Looking at him, it did not feel like him at all. This was the overbearing power of the space-time domain, illusory yet real. Master, what happened to you? Ning Yun, who had been waiting by the side with the members of the god-slaying team, asked. You idiot! Your master has become an emperor. He is now a rank 9 emperor realm cultivator. Datura said. She was very happy because this was a milestone in the transformation of a cultivator. Congratulations, master. Ningyan bowed to Night Sorrow. Congratulations, uncle. With a big belly, Chiyue, who was sitting at the side, stood up and bowed to Night Sorrow. Chiyue, what are you doing? Come and sit over there. Night Sorrow quickly helped Chiyue up and asked her to sit down. Congratulations, Captain. Congratulations, Brother 13. The members of the god-slaying team roared and congratulated him. Thank you, brothers and sisters. I came to the celestial realm to pursue this step. I want to break the shackles of the 9-domain world and the primal chaos realm that prevent us from becoming an emperor. Breaking the shackles today is a historical moment for me, Night Sorrow. It is the completion of a transformation. However, it is also a step for the rise of our world. In the future, all of you can do it. I am very happy that all of you were by my side when I achieved success. Night Sorrow said some of the words in his heart. Night Sorrow, we have to celebrate. We have to send the news back. Datura said. It is indeed something to be happy about. Send the news back and let everyone be happy. Night Sorrow nodded. Night Moon Villa was filled with a festive atmosphere. Large red lanterns were hung at the door. However, Night Sorrow was still cultivating and familiarizing himself with the effects of the space-time domain. The space-time domain allowed Night Sorrow's speed to increase. Within his domain, he could teleport to any location in an instant. In addition, the time and space within the space-time domain could be changed. For example, when a sword chi entered the space-time domain, Night Sorrow could decelerate time. At the same time, he could use a few spatial folds to resist the power of the sword chi. In other words, he could not be in the same space as the energy that attacked him. The effect was extremely strong. Without any domain to resist his domain, Night Sorrow was the ruler of the space-time domain. He was invincible. As there was no hurry, Night Sorrow's original body and Lin Piaomiao returned to the ethereal imperial city in 2 days. Lord Night, you have reached the Emperor realm in less than 200 years. This is an unprecedented feat. It is the Misty Dynasty's fortune to be able to appear in the Misty Dynasty's territory. If Lord Night has any difficulties, you can find me at the City Lord's mansion anytime. Lin Piaomiao said as they parted. Chapter 1668. Yishang thanks Your Excellency Battle Emperor for taking care of Star Moon Lake. I thank Your Excellency Battle Emperor for protecting us. If Your Excellency Battle Emperor needs my help, I will not refuse, said Yishang. Sometimes things cannot be tied to benefits. I'll help you. Although you've become an emperor, you're still an initial emperor. You must continue to work hard. With your battle strength, you might have some say in the Imperial Emperor realm. Lin Piaomiao said. I will continue to work hard. Night Sorrow nodded. I have high hopes for you. Lin Piaomiao said and left. Night Sorrow left the teleportation array and flew towards the Night Moon Villa. He planned to rest for a while before continuing to find a place to cultivate. He wanted to perfect his nihility domain and destruction intent as soon as possible. Night Sorrow returned to the Night Moon Villa and merged with his clone. Lin Xian also returned to the Night Moon Villa. Congratulations on successfully passing the trials of wind and fire and becoming an emperor. Lin Xian was wearing a white dress, which was completely different from Lin Piaomiao. Thank you, Sister Xian, for asking for help. If the Battle Emperor hadn't arrived in time, I would have been in trouble. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. We're friends, so there's no need to be so courteous. Just now, the Battle Emperor came back and told me that everything went smoothly. Also, she'll arrange for us to go to the evil punishing grounds as soon as possible. This is a map from the Battle Emperor. Lin Xian handed a map to Yishan. After taking a look, Knight Sorrow realized that there were two key markings on it. One was the Nihility River and the other was the Sea of Destruction. One was the place to comprehend the Nihility attribute, and the other was the place to comprehend the Destruction attribute. Knight Sorrow nodded and kept the map. This was the place he would go after resting for a while and stabilizing his cultivation. At this moment, Song Ning and Wu Feng also arrived at the Night Moon Villa. You bastard! Why didn't you inform me of such a joyous occasion? Song Ning patted Knight Sorrow's shoulder heavily when he saw Knight Sorrow. That's right. Why didn't you inform Big Brother that you've entered the Imperial capital? We only found out when we saw the big red lantern outside your door, Wu Feng said. Send out invitations to the 7 prefectures. Let them know that Knight Sorrow is also a great emperor cultivator. Let them know that they were blind to provoke you. Song Ning made the decision for Knight Sorrow. All right, then I'll listen to you. Knight Sorrow nodded. The news spread out like a storm, sweeping through the entire ethereal imperial city. Gong Yufan received the invitation, but it felt hot in his hands. His heart was filled with worry. What if Knight Sorrow challenged the Emperor Realm cultivators of Moon-Gazing Manor? Moon-Gazing Manor had many heaven monarchs, but only one great Emperor Realm commander. If the only great Emperor cultivator was heavily injured or forced to leave, then Moon-Gazing Manor's strength would be suppressed beyond recognition. Gong Yufan didn't doubt Yishang's strength. When Yishang was a heaven monarch, he was able to kill a gifted half-thearch. Once he entered the Tharch realm, he would be able to fight above his cultivation level. Gong Yufan doubted if he could handle Yishang, let alone the 1-star Tharch realm commanders under him. After thinking about it, Gong Yufan decided to find a middleman to meet with Knight Sorrow to resolve the grudge. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to handle Knight Sorrow's suppression of Moon-Gazing Manor. Gong Yufan wasn't the only one with a headache. Young Tianlai was the same. He was also furious. His son couldn't bully someone and his helper couldn't bully someone. Now that Knight Sorrow had entered the imperial capital, Sky Sun Prefecture was in danger. Luo Yuandao, who received the invitation, smiled. Fair, do you see this? This is Knight Sorrow. When he first made his move, he was a heaven monarch. He was not even a half-tharch. However, in such a short time, he has already become a tharch. He is indeed powerful. Fei, or cannot compare to him. I can only work hard to be myself, Luo Fei said. You're right. Do you want to die just because others are doing well? Do your best. Hearing your words, I'm very pleased. I'll prepare a generous gift. The celebration is the day after tomorrow. Let's go and have a look. Perhaps there will be some jokes to watch, Luo Yuandao said. Forward Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai met. The two of them wanted to discuss countermeasures. They were currently in the same boat. Palace Lord Yang, now that Song Ning, Luo Yuandao, and Lin Qixing are on good terms with Knight Sorrow, Bai Han from Great River Province and Han Jinyu from Suppressing Mountain Province won't support us. Even if they do, it's useless. Gong Yufan said. The 7 manors of the Ethereal Empire were Songning Manor, Dark Shadow Manor, 7 Stars Manor, Sky Sun Manor, Moon Viewing Manor, Great River Manor, and Mountain Suppression Manor. The 2 strongest manor lords were Songning Manor and Luo Yuandao of Dark Shadow Manor. 2 of them were imperial emperors while the other 5 were emperors. Gong Yufan knew that apart from Songning and Luo Yuandao who might be able to suppress Knight Sorrow, the other 5 had no chance of winning against Knight Sorrow. He knew how strong Knight Sorrow was in actual combat. Then what do you think, Palace Lord Gong? The Battle Emperor acknowledged Star Moon Lake's power, and even issued a territorial lord's decree. That means he acknowledged Knight Sorrow's identity and status. It's useless for us to use our status in Ethereal Empire to suppress him. If he uses the rules set by the Battle Emperor to challenge us, our 2 prefectures will have no place to stand. Yang Tianlai felt humiliated, but he had no other choice. That's right. Our eyes weren't bright enough this time. We can only find someone to mediate. The Battle Emperor is no longer a possibility. If we go to the Battle Emperor, we'll be asking for trouble. Both of us are in the wrong. Song Ning can't wait to kill us and won't interfere. Luo Yuandao, do you think we can turn things around if we go to Luo Yuandao? Gong Yufan asked. Right now, there are only two people we can find. One is one of the palace lords, Luo Yuandao, who is also a law enforcement elder. The other is Elder Lan of the City Lord Mansion. Elder Lan is powerful and prestigious, but if we go to him, we'll be scolded badly and he won't care. Yang Tianlai was a little annoyed because Night Sorrow's sudden ascension to the imperial capital had disrupted their plans. Then let's go find Luo Yuandao first. He's now a law enforcement elder and has connections with Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow will give him face. The key is whether Luo Yuandao will give us face or not. Gong Yufan thought for a moment and said. After making the decision, Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai went to the Shadow Mansion and asked to see Luo Yuandao. Luo Yuandao naturally wouldn't refuse the two palace lords. Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai went straight to the point and told Luo Yuandao why they were here. After thinking for a moment, Luo Yuandao asked, "This seat didn't want to get involved in this circle. However, we've worked together for many years. This seat can pass on the message for you. But if you want to resolve this matter, have you thought about your sincerity?" Luo Yuandao felt that there was nothing that couldn't be resolved from Night Sorrow's point of view. What was needed was for Yang Tianlai and Gong Yufan to come up with a reasonable attitude and a reasonable price. Furthermore, he felt that this was one of the things he could accomplish after becoming the enforcement elder. Chapter 1669. Then wait for the news. Luo Yuandao stood up and brought Luo Fei to Night Moon Manor with the gifts. After Yi Shang detected Luo Yuandao's arrival, he went to the manor's entrance to receive him. Manor head Luo and brother Luo have both arrived. Coincidentally, Manor head Song and the others are also drinking tea at the waterside pavilion. Let's go together. All right. Luo Yuandao nodded. This is a gift for Night Lord. Luo Fei took out a storage ring with a red ribbon wrapped around it and handed it to Night Sorrow. Don't call me Night Lord. Just call me Brother Yi. Next time, you have to learn from me. I only brought 2 jars of wine and 2 bags of tea to congratulate you. Night Sorrow smiled and accepted the gift. Ah, Night Moon Manor's threshold is not high, so this gift is not expensive. Let's wait for the next time to congratulate Night Lord. Luo Yuandao said with a smile. He knew that Night Sorrow was easy to get along with. Then the 3 of them arrived at the waterside pavilion. Luo Yuandao greeted Song Ning and Wu Feng. At the same time, he looked at Lin Xian'er with shock and disbelief because he could not see through Lin Xian'er. Estate Lord Luo, this is my sister Lin Xian'er. Song Ning introduced. Luo Yuandao greets Miss Lin. Luo Yuandao's posture was very humble. He knew that Lin Xian'er was not simple. Lin Xian'er nodded and continued drinking her tea. After sitting down, Luo Yuandao first congratulated Night Sorrow for entering the Emperor realm. Then they talked about the main topic. Night Lord, the situation is like this. Today, Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai came to the Shadow Estate to find me. They want to reconcile. Everyone knows that they are in the wrong. Originally, I did not want to get involved in this matter. However, I am now the law enforcement elder of the City Lord Estate. Therefore, I have to pass on this message. Luo Yuandao said. I understand. If it was before I became an emperor, I would not have reconciled. Now that I owe the Battle Emperor a favor, it is not good to capture her estate lords. I can reconcile, but it depends on their attitude and sincerity. Night Sorrow sighed. Then I thank Overlord Yi for giving me, Luo Yuandao face. I will bring these words back. Their attitude and the price they have to pay are their own business, Luo Yuandao said. All right, I have troubled you. Night Sorrow nodded. Luo Yuandao did not mention anything else. Luo Yuandao did not give him a hard time. Don't say that. After becoming the law enforcement elder, I haven't done anything yet. Lord Yi is giving me face, so there is a possibility of success. I appreciate it. You, Night Sorrow, are my friend. I have principles in my life. Lord Battle Emperor has helped me, So I won't betray the ethereal imperial dynasty. In addition, I don't make many friends, but I won't betray my friends either. Among the 7 prefecture lords, only Lin Qixing is my friend. The other is you, Overlord Knight. Knight Sorrow poured a cup of tea for Luo Yuandao. Since Luo Yuandao said so, he had to accept it. Then Luo Yuandao and Luo Fei left the Night Moon estate. Knight Sorrow, you are amazing. Even Luo Yuandao does not approve of me, but you became his friend. Song Ning curled his lips. If he approves, then I have to accept it. No matter what, I have to help him. Regardless of Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlia's attitude, this hatred must be resolved. Knight Sorrow said. He did not mean to scheme against you this time, but he did hit Knight Sorrow's weak spot. However, he did not lie. Among the 7 estate lords, only Lin Qixing has a good relationship with him, Song Ning said. Song Ning said. She also understood that Luo Yuandao's unintentional actions and words were not only effective on Yi Shang, but also on Lin Xian'er's side. Of course, Luo Yuandao was telling the truth. Sometimes, things are not so difficult. He treats me as a friend, so I have to help him. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. After returning to the Shadow Estate, Luo Yuandao went to the pavilion where Yang Tianlai and Gong Yufan were. How is the matter with the enforcement elder? Gong Yufan stood up and asked anxiously. If Knight Sorrow were to fight, the first to bear the brunt of it would be his Serene Moon estate. I pulled out my old face to plead on your behalf, and Yi Shang agreed to negotiate. However, I'll say this first. If you don't have a proper attitude and unreasonable compensation, causing Yi Shang to fall out with you, I'll also lose face. Then I won't let you off so easily. You'll have to think about how to deal with this matter. Also, remember that Knight Sorrow is my friend, Luo Yuandao said. Said Luo Yuandao. He didn't want Yi Shang to suffer because Yi Shang had given him face and recognized him as a friend. Elder Luo, don't worry. We will take care of it. Gong Yufan nodded. Then, Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai left the Shadow Estate. Father, what are you thinking about? In the Shadow Estate, Luo Fei poured a cup of tea for Luo Yuandao and asked. It's nothing. I have something to tell you today. Star Moon Lake is a new force, so it's inevitable that there will be some setbacks in its development. Our Shadow Manor wants to support it. You two are of the same generation, but he is my friend. You must remember this. I don't make friends easily, but once I do, I cannot betray them, Luo Yuan explained. Feier understands. Luo Fei smiled and nodded. He also approved of Knight Sorrow. He had to admit that his attitude was very good. He had really let go of the past. Actually, they don't need it. However, it is within our capabilities. Luo Yuandao sighed. 9W plus Star Moon Lake is a new force. It is good that they have no more opponents. Of course, Knight Sorrow is not afraid. Luo Fei said. Of course not. Song Ning and Wu Feng are on very good terms with him. Also, the woman called Lin Xian today is also an incredible expert. I can't tell how strong she is, but at the very least, she is a monarch. He has 3 imperial emperors by his side, and is an imperial emperor himself. Who do you think he needs to be afraid of? He really gave me face today. Luo Yuandao smiled. He knew that Knight Sorrow's development in the ethereal empire was unshakable. You really can't be blind. Yuan Ji was blind and ended up falling from power. Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai listened to their father and will have to think twice. They are probably scared to death right now. We can't afford to lose too much, Luo Fei said. Those 2 bastards. If they don't talk nicely this time, our Shadow Estate will suppress them before Knight Sorrow can deal with them. We have given them face, but they don't want it. We will embarrass them. Luo Yuandao said. Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai arrived at Guanyue Estate and entered Gong Yufan's study. Consider compensation. Luo Yuandao spoke up for us, but now he's on Yi Shang's side. If we can't satisfy Yi Shang this time, then we really won't be able to survive, said Yang Tianlai. We have to bring our troublemaker children to apologize. This is a must. Their attack on Yi Shang's residence was the cause of this matter. Secondly, we have to compensate them with resources. However, this is a problem. Gong Yufan sighed. Chapter 1670. Night Sorrow's family and friends had all arrived at the Night Moon Manor. Fortunately, the Night Moon Manor was thousands of miles wide, so it wasn't crowded. The Domain Lord and City Lord of the Nine Domain World had all arrived. Zhu Jiuyun, Long Xiansheng, Xie Lanjun, Heavenly Underworld Sage, and the other old sages of the Nine Domain World had all arrived at the Night Moon Manor. In the Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow's senior brothers had all arrived. Of course, Guan Yu was originally at the Night Moon Manor. Night Sorrow didn't want to celebrate, but this matter was too important to the Primal Chaos World and the Nine Domain World. It was also a joyous occasion. Yin Tianpa and Lin Ruoxu had also arrived. Both Taishu Yan and some people from the Heaven Profound World had also arrived. Night Sorrow received them one by one. He didn't act high and mighty just because he was the emperor. Yin Tianpa, Lin Ruoxu and Yi Qianhua came together with a young man beside them. The young man was wearing a blue battle robe. When he saw Night Sorrow, he seemed a little reserved. Domain Lord, let me introduce you. This is Shi Zhongzhou. He has already awakened some of his memories. I believe Domain Lord can recall something. Lin Ruoxu introduced. Night Sorrow greets the Middle Continent Saint King. Night Sorrow cupped his fists towards the young man. Domain Lord, you can't do this. The reserved young man panicked. There's nothing wrong with that. The Saint King of the Central Continent is a sage of the Nine Domain World. This has nothing to do with your current cultivation, said Yishang. He naturally understood some things after hearing Lin Ruox's explanation. Domain Lord, don't say that. Although the three of us have worked hard, we didn't change anything. Domain Lord, you have completed the Nine Domain World and created a new world for the Nine Domain World. There is no comparison between the two. Shi Zhongzhou said. It took a few generations for the Nine Domain World to rise. Although the first few generations didn't change the situation, they left behind a strength of character for the future generations. No one can deny that strength of character is the pillar that supported the rise of the Nine Domain World. I'm happy. No one has any regrets now. Night Sorrow said. After receiving the guests, Night Sorrow went to find Mo Chun and Chu Lingfei. 11th senior brother, I'm here. Night Sorrow arrived at Mo Chen's resting area. Haha. 13, shouldn't you be busy right now? Mo Chen laughed heartily. He was surprised by Night Sorrow's arrival. He knew that Night Moon Villa was full of guests that needed to be received. No matter how busy I am, it's not as important as drinking with 11th senior brother. Night Sorrow took out a jar of wine and placed it on the table. I like those words. It's still the same little 13. Mo Chen opened the wine jar. I remember when I was still young, 11th senior brother would accompany me when I went out to train. When I was lonely and helpless, I would turn around and look at 11th senior brother. That gave me the courage to face everything. Night Sorrow poured a glass of wine for Mo Chen. In the blink of an eye, quite a few years have passed. Seeing 13 grow up, as your senior brother, I am gratified and proud. Mo Chen sighed. At that time, I didn't have much contact with the other senior brothers. I felt that 11th senior brother was the most amiable and the easiest to get along with, Night Sorrow said. Eldest senior brother was a little strict. 12 and I were beaten up by the rattan fried meat. In our Medicine Valley Taishan Peak, 13, you were the only one who didn't eat rattan. Mo Chen said with a smile. His eyes were a little wet. Although many years had passed, the relationship between them hadn't changed at all. I've been too busy these years. I didn't even spend time with my family and neglected my senior brothers. I feel sorry for 6th senior sister and 9th senior sister. Night Sorrow felt a little uncomfortable in his heart. 13. What are you talking about? No one is blaming you. Everyone understands you. Yang Lei, Aoi, and Night Sorrow's other senior brothers of Taishan Peak arrived. 9th senior sister, you're all here. Eldest senior brother, please take a seat. Night Sorrow stood up. 13, you're too demanding of yourself. You're worthy of everyone in the world. Your senior brothers can't wait to feel sorry for you. Why would they mind? Gong Xian stepped forward and hugged Night Sorrow, patting Night Sorrow's back. 13, you're in the wrong. Why don't you come and drink with 11 instead of us? Shi Tianlin said with some dissatisfaction. 8th senior brother, don't be angry. I thought it was too late, so I didn't want to disturb you. As for 11th senior brother, I know he won't mind, Night Sorrow said with a smile. No one will mind. It's rare for us to get together these years. 6th senior brother, 9th senior brother, let's drink crazily together tonight, okay? Gongxian looked at Aoi and Yang Lei. No problem. Aoi wiped the corners of her eyes. She hadn't seen such a scene in a long time. Senior brothers, I can't. Our god-slaying squad doesn't go out on missions. We have to cultivate in the camp at night. That's the rule, Guan Yi said softly. 13 is the captain, right? Let him know, Gong Xian said. Long Jin is currently in charge of the god-slaying squad. I'll go say hi, Night Sorrow said with a smile. I'll go. Yang Lei pulled Night Sorrow and went to the god-slaying squad's camp. 12, you're very obedient now, Shi Tianlin said as he put his arm around Guan Ye's shoulder. He's working hard. Look at us now. Other than Night Sorrow, 6th senior brother, and 9th senior brother, 12 has the highest achievements, Gong Xian said. At this moment, Guan Yi had already reached the 8th level. He was just a little behind Qin Zhen. It's mainly because the god-slaying squad is treated well. Tang Tian, Chu Ning, and Ma Shizhuang are all Saint Kings. If I don't try my best, I'll be laughed at, Guan Yi said with a smile. Sai, it's not easy for you to be an uncle master, Shi Tianlin said with some emotion. Those who joined the god-slaying squad are all promising. Those who were in the same batch as them are a little weaker. The highest among them is only a high-level saint, Huan Nan said. This can't be forced. The god-slaying squad's training and experience are very intense. It's very difficult for the latecomers to catch up, Guan Yi said. He was explaining on behalf of Night Sorrow so that others wouldn't misunderstand. Yang Lei returned with Chu Ning, Tang Tian, Ma Shizhuang, and Qin Zhen. The four of them first greeted Night Sorrow, the captain, before greeting their master and uncle master. You don't have freedom now, do you? Back then, you cried and begged to join the god-slaying squad, Yang Lei said with a smile. 9th Martial Ant, joining the god-slaying squad was the best decision of my life. We're famous in the 9 regions world. Everyone in the Chaos Realm knows that the god-slaying squad is under the Domain Master. In the future, the god-slaying squad will also have a place in the Celestial Realm. I'm proud to be a member of the god-slaying squad, Chu Ning said. You've become promising, kid. Huan Nan nodded with a smile. Brother 13, thank you for bringing me all the way here. Qin Zhen bowed to Night Sorrow. You're the first friend I've ever made in my life. There's no need for thanks between us brothers. Night Sorrow reached out and pulled Qin Zhen up, allowing Qin Zhen to sit down. While drinking, Night Sorrow asked about the current situation in the Medicine Valley. The original and first, 7. Chapter 1671. I really haven't done anything for the Medicine Valley. Eldest senior brother's words really make me blush with shame, Night Sorrow said with a sigh. You've done enough. Didn't you bring up these 4 fellows? The main thing is that your reputation can support the development of the Medicine Valley, Gong Xian said. I am indeed busy. I am not only a disciple of the Medicine Valley, but also a representative of the 9 domains world, and the 9 domains of chaos. If the Medicine Valley needs anything, just look for my 9th senior sister, Night Sorrow said to Yang Lei. They drank until the middle of the night. They drank until Shi Tianlin fell under the chair and started snoring. Only then did the banquet end. Night Sorrow was also helped back to rest by Yang Lei and Aoi. Everyone's cultivation was very high. Not to mention wine. Even if they used energy to protect themselves, it would be useless. However, everyone drank instinctively. Naturally, it depended on one's alcohol tolerance. Shi Tianlin was not convinced and wanted to drink with Night Sorrow, but he ended up lying under the table. After sleeping for a whole night, Night Sorrow felt refreshed. After leaving the main pavilion, Night Sorrow stretched and then rushed towards the teleportation array. At this time, Wu Lingfei in a white dress walked out of the teleportation array. Auntie Fei, weren't you cultivating in the Clear Sky Pagoda? Night Sorrow asked. You rascal, such a big thing and you didn't inform Auntie Fei. If Auntie Fei hadn't come out of seclusion and asked the servants where everyone was, wouldn't we have missed this celebration? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow with dissatisfaction. This is my fault, Auntie Fei. Night Sorrow smiled and welcomed Wu Lingfei to the main pavilion. He then made a pot of tea. That silly boy from back then is now an emperor. Auntie Fei is very happy. Wu Lingfei's beautiful eyes fell on Night Sorrow. The scene of Night Sorrow going to East Snow Mountain was like yesterday. Aunt Fei, I will deal with the problem of the evil dragon's poison flame later. Night Sorrow said. There's no need to rush. Aunt Fei can handle it. Moreover, staying in the Haotian God Pagoda allows time to slow down by 50 times. Only half a year has passed. Wu Lingfei said with a smile. She knew that Night Sorrow was anxious, but she didn't take it seriously. Auntie Fei was the only family I had before I found my family. Of course, she's also the only family I care about now. So, if Auntie Fei's life isn't good, I can't accept it. Night Sorrow said. You're already an emperor. Yet you're still acting like a child. Today is the day of the celebration. Aunt Fei saw that the heaven-worshipping ceremony was already set up. Luckily, I didn't miss it. I didn't miss your good day. Wu Lingfei pointed in the direction of the Night Moon Villa's garden. Today, the garden was where the celebration would be held. It's nothing. It's just a breakthrough. Night Sorrow didn't really care about these things. There are many guests today. I need you to attend to them. Aunt Fei will go find Chu Yu and Yang Lei. Wu Lingfei smiled and left. Auntie Fei, Night Sorrow will definitely let you live happily. After this, I won't let you suffer any pain. Yishan muttered in a low voice. He then went to receive the guests. The guests that came today were all important figures. He had even invited the people of the Misty Seven Prefecture Lords. 01 Premier. Luo Yuandao arrived early. After Night Sorrow received him, the two of them chatted casually. After Wu Fing and Song Ning arrived, they sat together and drank tea. Luo Yuandao expressed his congratulations and welcome to Wu Fing for joining Ethereal City's Lord Residence. He hoped that they could work together happily in the future. Although Wu Fing wasn't interested in these things, he knew that Luo Yuandao and Night Sorrow had a good relationship. So he chatted with Luo Yuandao. Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai arrived. However, Night Sorrow didn't receive them. Instead, it was Ji Dao who received them. Gong Yufan brought Gong Xianyu while Yang Tianlai brought Yang Yu. Bastard! Why aren't you apologizing to Lord Night? Yang Tianlai brought Yang Yu to the waterside pavilion. He kicked Yang Yu's knees and forced him to kneel on the ground. Yang Yu didn't know any better and offended Lord Night. Please punish me. Yang Yu's eyes were filled with fear. He knew that if Night Sorrow wanted to deal with him, he wouldn't have a good life. Even his father wouldn't be able to protect him. Gong Xianyu was also pushed by Gong Yufan to kneel in front of Night Sorrow. He also begged for mercy. Both of you, get up. At the end of the day, it's a problem with your family's education. Yi Shang waved his hand and helped the two of them up before tossing them to the side. He still needed Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai to explain the situation. Lord Night, Gong Yufan didn't educate my daughter well, and allowed her to offend you. Therefore Moon-Gazing Manor will send 8 million Saint Spirit Stones, and a street in Linhai as a congratulatory gift. It's also an apology. Gong Yufan took out a storage ring. Lord Night, Yang Yu didn't know any better. I will punish him when I return. Please don't take it to heart. This is a token of appreciation from Sky Sun Manor. Yang Tianlai also handed over a storage ring. Night Sorrow nodded at Ji Dao. Ji Dao accepted Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlia's gifts. Originally, I didn't want to let go of this matter. However, since Palace Lord Luo has spoken, we will settle this matter. The compensation isn't important. What's important is that Moon-Gazing Manor and Sky Sun Manor don't touch the people and properties of Star Moon Lake. Night Sorrow stated his request. That's not a problem. I will arrange it when I return. Moon-Gazing Manor and Star Moon Lake will be friends in the future. There won't be any conflicts. Gong Yufan stated. Yang Tianlai was the same. Now that this matter was settled, it could be considered as resolving a sore point. However, he was still in pain. As the Palace Lord of Ethereal Empire, it was humiliating for him to beg for mercy. Since that's the case, let's forget about the past. Ji Dao, Arrange for the two palace lords to go to the VIP seats. Knight Sorrow said to Ji Dao. Ji Dao brought Yang Tianlai and Gong Yufan to the VIP seats in the garden. Knight Sorrow, I thank you here. Luo Yuandao cupped his hands at Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow didn't mention any conditions. He didn't even mention anything about the compensation. This was giving him face. Palace Lord Luo treats me, Knight Sorrow, as a friend. Naturally, this matter isn't a big deal. Knight Sorrow said. These two guys don't have any strength of character. They won't amount to much. Lin Xian'er's expression wasn't too good. In fact, Lin Xian'er was very angry. This was the palace lord of Ethereal City that she didn't want to see. Sister Xian'er, don't let this affect your mood. Song Ning said. Lin Xian'er nodded. However, she had made a decision in her heart. She wanted to investigate Gong Yufan. She saw pain on Yang Tianlia's face just now. That was shame. However, Gong Yufan's expression was relaxed. Therefore, she felt a little disgusted. At this moment, an old man came to the door. Knight Sorrow, that's Elder Lan from the City Lord's palace. You have to go and receive him. Song Ning reminded Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow also sensed the person who came. However, he was a little surprised because he recognized him. It was Elder Nalan from the Divine Devil Castle. After hearing Song Ning's words, Knight Sorrow understood that Elder Nalan also had two identities. Chapter 1672. However, this didn't matter. Knight Sorrow knew that there wouldn't be any conflicts. He was from the God Devil Castle, and so was Elder Nalan. Neither of them would leak any secrets. If they met outside the God Devil Castle, they would use their identities to interact. Of course, it was easier to form a friendship. Elder Nalan had a high position in the Ethereal City Lord residence. If he could take care of Knight Sorrow, he would do the same. Knight Sorrow arrived at the entrance of the manor and cupped his hands towards Elder Nalan. Knight Sorrow greets Elder Nalan. Young and promising, truly young and promising. Elder Nalan continued to praise Yishang. He knew Yishang's age. For an emperor to be less than 200 years old, this cultivation speed was definitely legendary. In addition, Yishang not only had a high cultivation level, but his actual combat strength was also very strong. Knight Sorrow invited Elder Nalan to the VIP seats. At this time, the celebration officially began. There were two people hosting the celebration. One was Nine Domain World's Long Xiansheng, and the other was Reincarnation World's Qing Emperor. Knight Sorrow was from Nine Domain World and Long Xiansheng gave a speech. Knight Sorrow was the representative of Reincarnation World, and Qing Emperor gave a speech. After the speech, it was time for the invited guests to present their gifts. The one receiving the gifts was Hong Yi, Ethereal Imperial City's 7 prefecture lords, starting from Songning and Luo Yuandao. Songlan Prefecture's Jiang Tianheng and Jinyue Prefecture's Han Jinyue all sent gifts. Moon-gazing Prefecture's Gong Yufan and Sky Sun Prefecture's Yang Tianlai sent gifts for the second time. Last time they gave compensation. Of course, it could also be considered as gifts. However, if they didn't take out a gift today, it would be a slap to Knight Sorrow's face. Next, Lin Qixing walked out. I'm a miser and won't pluck my feathers easily. But today, I must give you a piece of water chestnut dragon skin. I hope Lord Knight doesn't mind. Many thanks, Prefecture Lord Qixing. Knight Sorrow stood up and cupped his hands. Haha. And that's good. This seat will wait for the wine. Lin Qixing smiled and sat down. Knight Sorrow, it's not easy to make Lin Qixing pluck your hair. Song Ning smiled and nodded at Knight Sorrow. I am here on the orders of the Battle Emperor. 10 Emperor rank soul stones and 1 monarch pill. Elder Nalan stood up and said. Awkward silence. There was a bit of an awkward silence because the Battle Emperor had never given anyone a congratulatory gift. Even the 7 prefecture lords who had entered the Emperor realm didn't receive such treatment. This was enough to show how much the ethereal Battle Emperor valued Knight Sorrow. Lord Yi, I've brought the Battle Emperor's congratulatory gift. It's mine. I'm poor. I only have a piece of time meteorite iron that I obtained in my early years. Elder Nalan took out another congratulatory gift. Song Ning and Luo Yuandao were sitting close to each other. They looked at each other. It was already surprising that the ethereal battle emperor had sent a congratulatory gift. Now the city lord residence's elder Lon, who didn't interact much with others, had also sent a congratulatory gift. This was simply unheard of. I don't dare to refuse an elder's gift. Yishang thanks elder. Yishang nodded at Elder Naylan. And I hope it will be of help to you. Elder Naylan nodded and sat down. Knight Sorrow then walked to the front desk and thanked the people who had come to congratulate him. He also explained the development concept of the Star Moon Lake. In short, Knight Sorrow is new here. I hope everyone can forgive me and help me. Knight Sorrow cupped his hands to the people who had come. Then it was time for the banquet. Knight Sorrow received the guests with good wine and tea. Thank you, Sister Xian'er, for helping me. Knight Sorrow toasted everyone and went to Lin Xian'er. It's nothing. Lin Xian'er smiled and drank the wine in her hand. Song Ning turned his head and pursed his lips. Nothing? She was very clear that the city lord residence's Elder Lon had come on Lin Xian'er's orders. That was the truth. Elder Lon had sent her here to send a signal. Yishan was supported by the ethereal battle emperor, so everyone should keep their eyes open. As for Elder Lon personally sending a congratulatory gift to support Yishan, Lin Xian'er had not expected this. Elder Lon did not have much contact with outsiders. He was the protector elder of the city lord residence. He would only appear when the city lord residence was in danger. Normally he did not care about anything. If he wanted to fight, Yuan Ji would not have been able to become the great elder, and Luo Yuandao would not have taken the position this time. Lin Xian'er did not understand why such a person would send a congratulatory gift. Elder Lon usually wanted to distance himself from all relationships and live his own life. After pondering for a while, Lin Xian'er smiled because she had figured out the relationship between the two. Some things were best left to ponder. Lin Xian'er understood what was going on after pondering for a while. There was nothing in the Misty Dynasty that could be hidden from her. After the celebration, Knight Sorrow sent the guests away and accompanied his fellow disciples and friends. Song Ning and Wu Feng also stayed in Knight Sorrow's residence because it was very lively now. Seeing Wu Lingfei, Lin Xian'er was once again shocked. The Ice Phoenix bloodline, this was also a pure divine beast. Just in time for Knight Sorrow to arrive, Knight Sorrow introduced the two sides. Young Lady Wu, your condition seems not too good. Your breath is not very stable. Lin Xian'er looked at Wu Lingfei and said, This is my fault. I was not careful enough. Knight Sorrow explained that Wu Lingfei had been poisoned by the evil dragon's poison flame. Knight Sorrow, this is not your fault. Everyone has some predestined fate. Wu Lingfei said, If you want to resolve this, there are two ways. The blood of an emperor rank white tiger, or the blood of an emperor rank orthodox dragons. Lin Xian'er said, I plan to take a trip to the white tiger territory. I am an emperor rank. That white tiger emperor will definitely come to kill me. As long as I can injure it and collect some blood, that will be enough. Knight Sorrow spoke his thoughts. No, the white tiger emperor is not an emperor. You cannot touch it right now. Lin Xian'er directly interrupted Knight Sorrow. Is the white tiger emperor very strong? Knight Sorrow said. The concept of the white tiger emperor is very general. The four divine beasts all have their own territories. The azure dragons are currently the representatives of the dragons, but they are only representatives. The Black Tortoise clan is very tyrannical, and so is the Vermilion Bird clan. Everyone knows that the Azure Dragon territory, Black Tortoise territory, and Vermilion Bird territory have many Emperor Realm cultivators, but the White Tiger territory only has one White Tiger Emperor. In reality, it is not. Lin Xian'er said. Please dispel my confusion, Sister Xian'er. Knight Sorrow asked. The White Tiger territory has a world within a world. Generally, there is only one Emperor Realm White Tiger that patrols the ordinary White Tiger territory. When the time comes, it will rotate. No one knows what level of Emperor Realm White Tiger is assigned to patrol. If you rashly enter, if it is an Emperor rank White Tiger, then would you not be out of luck? It is not like there are no Emperor rank White Tigers. Lin Xian'er said. It's this complicated? Knight Sorrow's brow tightly wrinkled. To him, this was not good news at all. Yes, however, you can try to purchase White Tiger Essence Blood and Dragon's Essence Blood. The price is a bit higher. Perhaps there are members of the two clans that have transformed into humans and are roaming the celestial realm. If the price is high enough, it is not a big deal for them to bleed a bit. It depends on whether or not you can encounter them. This depends on luck. It depends on whether or not you pay the price they want. Lin Xiano said. Chapter 1673. Night Sorrow hadn't seen the dragon language for a while, but she knew that the dragon language had also come to the celestial realm. Like Night Sorrow, she chose to come out. Who's the dragon language? Lin Xiano asked. Night Sorrow told her about his conflict with the Devil Blood domain and the dragon language. Night Sorrow, let me tell you this. It's not easy to become an emperor. Don't use yourself to measure others. How big is the ethereal realm? There are trillions of living beings, but how many can become an emperor? Your primal chaos realm only has you. Lin Xiano said. Relying on others is never as good as relying on oneself. Tomorrow we'll send out a notice asking for purchase. As for whether we can attract dragons and white tigers, that will depend on luck. Night Sorrow agreed with Lin Xian. Yishang, you don't need to worry. It's not a big deal. Although the evil dragon Poison Flame is quite overbearing, it's not like Aunt Fei can't suppress it. Aunt Fei's bloodline can actually suppress it. It's just that her level is a bit low. Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow nodded. Wu Lingfei's bloodline and talent were very heaven-defying. It was only a matter of time before she achieved something. Night Sorrow had properties in his hands waiting to be taken over. They were 2 streets. Gong Yufan gave him Lin Hai Street, which was one of the more prosperous streets in the ethereal imperial city. There were properties on both sides of the street. Yang Tianlai was the same. In order not to cause trouble for Night Sorrow and let their grudges go smoothly, he gave him a street that was closer to Lin Hai Street. Night Sorrow originally planned to give one to the 9 Domains world, and the other to the reincarnation world. He wanted everyone to develop on their own. However, he was rejected by Qing Emperor and the others. Long Xianxing and Taishu Yan also had the same idea. After a discussion, they decided to rent Night Sorrow's properties. After all, this was a huge foundation and belonged to Night Sorrow alone. It had nothing to do with the primal chaos realm. Translator. Nyoibo Studio Editor. Nyoibo Studio for the convenience of development. Night Sorrow left it to Red Spectre, who had better management skills to manage. Not only did they not charge rent for the time being, but they could also provide Holy Spirit stones if needed. However, Night Sorrow told Red Coat that the last good spot was for his own use because it was reserved for Chen Chen. After that, Night Sorrow found Chen Chen, who had not returned to 9 Regions City and was still in Star Moon Villa. You're busy, don't worry about me. I've already told you last time. When you're not busy, we'll chat and drink tea again. Chen Chen, who was enjoying the scenery with his 2 sons, Yi Qianhua, Chen Zhukang and his wife, asked them to leave. He knew that Night Sorrow was busy. Sworn brother, are you sure you want to drive me away? Originally, I had a good shop that I wanted to make into a tea house, but I can only forget about it, Night Sorrow said. Don't. Where is the store? Take me to see it. Opening a tea house in the celestial realm is the way to do business. Chen Chen quickly stopped Night Sorrow. I don't know exactly where it is, but we can go and take a look, Night Sorrow said with a smile. After that, Night Sorrow took Chen Chen's family and Red Coat to Lin Hai Street. Red Coat was in charge of Lin Hai Street, so she knew everything. It was a property in the center of Lin Hai Street, and there was a villa behind it. Young master, this is the best shop on Lin Hai Street. The location is the best and the style is also the best. After the people of Guanyue Mansion withdrew, Red Coat didn't let anyone touch it, Red Coat said. Sworn brother, this place is yours from now on, Night Sorrow said. What? If you give this property to me, does this belong to you? Chen Chen looked at Yishang with some surprise. It's mine. You can do business in the future. If you want to be the biggest boss in the Chaos Realm, I'll naturally support you, Night Sorrow said. The value of this property is estimated to be very high and the location is so good. Chen Chen was a little emotional. This is the best property on Lin Hai Street. It's estimated to be around 5 million Holy Spirit stones. Red Coat explained the situation. 5 million, my goodness. I'll take it for a few 100,000. 5 million is not enough even with all my assets. I can't take it. Night Sorrow, lend it to me first and then rent it to me. Chen thought for a moment and said, Do we need to do this between us brothers? Night Sorrow said with a bitter smile, We don't need to do this between brothers, but I'm still a businessman. It's settled then. This is a good shop. Zhukong, don't go to the Nine Zones world for now. Help father support this place. Chen walked directly into the shop. I really don't understand the world of businessmen. Night Sorrow looked at Red Coat and said helplessly, This is the principle. Red Coat said with a smile. After looking around, Chen was extremely excited because he liked this place. Night Sorrow, if you're tired in the future, this is where you can drink tea and rest. Red Coat, you'll take care of this business, right? I'll talk to you, Chen said. I really don't understand you guys. I don't care, but I need good tea to receive guests. I can't do without good tea. Night Sorrow looked at Chen and said, I know you need it. Your brother is not only a tea shop owner, but also a restaurant business. Before coming here, I've prepared everything for you, but I didn't give it to you. Chen took out 2 storage rings and handed them to Night Sorrow. You're a businessman. Are these gifts or for sale? Night Sorrow asked with a smile. Others would definitely be for sale, but you're my only brother in this life. Do you think it's for sale? Chen glared at Night Sorrow. You said that I'm your only brother. Then why didn't you take it when I gave it to you? Night Sorrow muttered. This is different. I accept your help, but there's no need to give it to me. You have the strength of character of the people of the 9 zones. As your brother, of course I have to have that too. Chen expressed his insistence. All right, then I won't say anything more on this matter. Red Coat, in the future, I'll arrange for the God-slaying squad to patrol this area. If the God-slaying squad wants to stop for tea, they can stop here. The accounts will be settled by Night Moon Villa, Night Sorrow said to Red Coat. Red nodded. She would do what Yishang asked her to do. Red Coat, if you want to start a business, you can choose any place here. If you want to get married, I'll arrange a dowry for you. The Yi family's extravagance won't be bad either. The same goes for Lanning. Night Sorrow looked at Red Coat and Lanning beside him and said, He treated them as members of the Yi family. Thank you, young master. Red Coat and Lanning bowed. Lanning, you're not as meticulous as Red Coat. Just help her, Night Sorrow said to Lanning. Young master, Old Xia and the other 2 wanted to leave today, but I stopped them. Lanning told them that even if they wanted to leave, they had to wait until you were done with your work, Lanning said. The Old Xia and the other 2 she was talking about were Summer City, Xiandaozi, and Shangguanhong. You did the right thing. I'm so busy that I didn't receive you well. Brother, I won't care about your business. If you need anything, just come to me. Night Sorrow said to Chen and left Lin High Street. Father, this uncle of mine is so powerful. He's made a name for himself in the celestial realm. If I go out and shout that Night Sorrow is my uncle, who would dare to touch me? Chen Zhukong said excitedly. Smack. Chen slapped the back of Chen Zhukong's head. Chapter 1674. Bastard. Have your uncle's children ever said that they are part of the Yi family? But did they say that Night Sorrow was their father? But using his father's name to do things? Do you want to use my name to show off? Chen was furious. Otherwise he would not have hit him directly. Father, I was just joking. Why would I do that? Chen Zhukong said, feeling wronged. Kong, there are some jokes that shouldn't be made. This has crossed my bottom line, Yi Qianhua said. Father, big brother, I know I was wrong. I won't speak carelessly in the future. Chen Zhukong admitted his mistake in a low voice. Remember, principles and strength of character are things that the Chen family must keep at the bottom of our hearts. Chen reminded Chen Zhukong. Night Sorrow returned to the Night Moon Villa and went to the residence of the trio in Summer City. I heard that the 3 uncles are leaving. That won't do. Night Sorrow hasn't had a good drink with the 3 uncles yet. Your Highness, you're so busy right now. You don't have to take care of us, Summer City said. Uncle Xia, please don't be angry. What I did was really inappropriate, Night Sorrow said with some embarrassment. He had just started to receive the guests, but he was so busy that he forgot about it. Our song issued. Your Highness, if you say so, then I will not leave. Summer City's voice was not calm. What was Night Sorrow's status now? The domain master of the primal chaos realm, a rank 9 emperor, still called them uncle and apologized. Ha! This proves that Uncle Xia and the others are not angry. Tonight, I will accompany the 3 uncles to drink. Ji Dao, go and call the members of the Deicide squad over. Night Sorrow shouted to Ji Dao. A short while later, the main members of the God-slaying squad arrived. In the future, everyone will stay here and cultivate. Those who need to stabilize their cultivation bases, head to the 9 regions world's clear sky pagoda. Also, there are 2 streets that belong to us and need to be patrolled. The God-slaying team will be responsible for Lin High Street, Night Sorrow said. Captain, our current cultivation levels are a little lacking, Liang Yu said. He was now a 6-star king, and was already advancing towards becoming a 7-star king. It's a little lacking, but you guys have the combined attack array. As long as you can trap the opponent for a period of time, it will be fine. Also, I will send a Heaven Monarch to stand guard over there, Night Sorrow said to Liang Yu. That's good. Long Jin and Liang Yu nodded. Haha. Old man, we have something to do as well. Let's help His Highness patrol. Xian Daozi looked at Summer City. That's right, Your Highness. The 3 of us don't have much to do. We're also enjoying our retirement in the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Why don't the 3 of us go to the street where Your Highness lives? Said Summer City. Sure. Then this matter is settled. Uncles, don't even think about going back, Night Sorrow said. After solving the problem of Summer City's trio, Night Sorrow went to the main pavilion. Datura and Lin Xian were drinking tea and chatting. Aluo, I think we can get Ghost Monkey here. There's no need for him to stay in Guanyue Prefecture. We won't tell him some of Gong Yufan's secrets. Knowing that Gong Yufan has a conflict with Yuanji and the Celestial Sect is enough, Night Sorrow said. Okay, then call him back. Datura nodded. You're really something. You have a spy in Guanyue Prefecture. Lin Xian was stunned when she heard Night Sorrow and Datura's conversation. It's not something that can be arranged. It's just a coincidence. Night Sorrow smiled and explained his interactions with Ghost Monkey. I see. Gong Yufan has lost another capable Heaven Monarch. Lin Xian smiled. Gong Yufan could only be considered unlucky. After receiving the notice, Ghost Monkey immediately announced that he was leaving Guanyue Prefecture and joining Star Moon Lake. Gong Yufan was furious when he heard this. Ghost Monkey's actions were a slap to his face, but he didn't have the ability to challenge Star Moon Lake. He could only endure this. The angriest one was Gong Xianyu. His bodyguard had left. He would be a laughingstock whenever he went out. Night Sorrow arranged for Ghost Monkey to stay at Lin High Street. He set up a stronghold there, where Star Moon Lake's patrols would rest. Ghost Monkey, Summer City, and the God-slaying team would all stay there. The other street was used by the Samsara World, Xinwu World, and Xianhuang World. The patrols were arranged by Qing Emperor and the others. They just had to pay Night Sorrow rent regularly. Night Sorrow didn't need to worry about anything else. After dealing with most of the matters, Night Sorrow's main body headed to the Great Void River. Now his domain of nothingness needed to be perfected as soon as possible. As for the domain of spacetime, it was already formed. He could slowly improve it. The will of destruction was still 10% away. His main body went to cultivate while Night Sorrow's clone stayed at Night Moon Villa to deal with some matters. It was quiet for half a month. One day, when he was discussing the development of Star Moon Lake with Lin Xian, the Godfiend Castle's token in Night Sorrow's sleeve vibrated. Night Sorrow knew that the Godfiend Castle was summoning him, so he went there. As soon as he entered the Godfiend Castle, Elder Nalen appeared and welcomed Night Sorrow into the underground Godfiend Castle. Congratulations! You're not even 200 years old, and you're already in the Emperor realm. This is too beautiful. Elder Nalen's face was full of smiles. You little brat, Now you've caused a storm in the city. We want to apply for the position of God-Fiend Protector for you. Normally speaking, with your past achievements and entering the Emperor realm at 200 years old, the higher-ups would directly approve of you as a God-Fiend Protector. However, Elder Naylan and I feel that in order to avoid gossip and criticism, you should take the assessment. Then we'll report it. What do you think? Elder Naylan looked coldly at Knight Sorrow and asked, "Many thanks to the two elders for your support. Knight Sorrow is very grateful. I accept the assessment." Knight Sorrow nodded. He was willing to take the assessment. Then Knight Sorrow was brought into the assessment space. There were 3 one-star Emperor-level puppets. With the space-time domain, Knight Sorrow was in an invincible position. The 3 one-star Emperor-level puppets' domains were unable to suppress Knight Sorrow's space-time domain. Not only was Knight Sorrow's speed fast, but the Emperor-level puppets' attacks were slowed down after entering the space-time domain. Their attacks were cancelled out by the space-time domain. They were no threat to Knight Sorrow. However, Knight Sorrow's True Dragon Destruction and Great Emperor Samsara Slash were extremely powerful. The puppets were unable to defend against them. In just a cup of tea's time, Knight Sorrow completed the assessment. Haha. In a cup of tea's time, he defeated 3 Emperor-level puppets. This is a great achievement. Knight Sorrow came out and clapped his hands. Then I'll have to trouble the 2 elders for the following matters. If there's a suitable mission, the 2 elders can inform me. Knight Sorrow said. There's one more thing to tell you. The God-Fiend Castle's Donghao region's protector, Donghao Ju, has passed the elders' assessment. Lung Naylan looked at Knight Sorrow and said, "This isn't good news. Donghao Ju is an Emperor Realm expert?" Knight Sorrow asked. Chapter 1675. Don't worry, I'll just be careful and defend myself. Knight Sorrow said. This involved the rules of the Divine Castle, so he couldn't make things difficult for Elder Naylan and Lung Lai. After chatting for a while, Knight Sorrow left the Divine Castle. Not far from the Divine Castle, Knight Sorrow turned around because Elder Naylan had also come out. Elder Naylan, do you have anything to tell Knight Sorrow? Knight Sorrow asked. I'm Elder Naylan, and I'm going to the City Lord's mansion now. What a coincidence, Lord Knight. Elder Naylan said with a smile. It's really a coincidence. Go to the tea house for a cup of tea? Knight Sorrow was stunned for a moment, then smiled because Elder Naylan had completed the identity change. Sure. I've heard that the Twilight Tea House on Lin High Street is very famous now. It's only been open for half a month, but its reputation has already spread, Elder Naylan said. Then let's go. Let's go to the Twilight Tea House, Knight Sorrow said. Knight Sorrow and Elder Naylan went to the Twilight Tea House on Lin High Street. The Twilight Tea House was the one opened by Chun Chun. It was evening and Lin High Street was very lively. A row of red lanterns hung in the Twilight Tea House, making it seem like a pure land in the midst of the hustle and bustle of Lin High Street. Knight Sorrow and Elder Naylan entered and were received by someone. Knight Sorrow recognized them as he had seen them at Chun Chun's tea house. My lords, our Twilight Tea House has 4 environments to choose from. Wind, flower, snow, and moon. Which one do you prefer? The receptionist asked. Elder Naylan, what do you think? Knight Sorrow looked at Elder Naylan. I remember that the last time I was here, there was only the Wind Pavilion. There are so many choices this time? Elder Naylan asked. Our boss has made arrangements. Lord Knight Sorrow has a reserved pavilion in each area of the Twilight Tea House. There are seats available whenever you come, the receptionist said. That works too. I've heard that the Twilight Tea House is the most popular place in the Moon Admiring Pavilion, and it's hard to find a seat. There are moons everywhere in the celestial realm, but the moon in the Twilight Tea House is different. I'd like to see it, Elder Lon said. Knight Sorrow and Elder Lon were led to the top floor of the Twilight Tea House by the receptionist. It was an elegant pavilion surrounded by vines, with a bright moon hanging overhead. Soon after, the receptionist served the tea. I wonder if Overlord Yi and this lord would like to personally brew the tea. Or do you want me to help you brew it? Go and do your work. I can do it myself. After Knight Sorrow took the tea, he personally made a pot of heart-cleansing tea. After a while, Elder Lon, who had taken a sip of tea, narrowed his eyes and looked at the bright moon in the sky through the vines. When I look at the moon again after calming down, it's really a different feeling. There is no moon in the world, but the moon in the twilight tea house is different. This saying is true. When one's state of mind is different, one sees things differently, Night Sorrow said with a smile. The owner of this place is a genius. The price of tea here is dozens or even hundreds of times higher than other tea houses, but everyone is still thirsty for it. In the celestial realm, who is in the mood to drink tea, who would care about a small amount of Holy Spirit stones? The tea is good tea, the environment is good, and the Holy Spirit stones are well spent, Elder Lon said. He's my sworn brother. His dream isn't to be a high-level cultivator. He wants to be a good businessman, a successful businessman, Night Sorrow said with a smile. He's already a good businessman. This place will become a symbol of the ethereal dynasty in the future, a place where people of high status can chat, gather, and discuss business, Elder Lon said. He was very impressed with Chen Chen's idea of running a shop. The Twilight Tea House was not open during the day and only officially opened at night. The tea house was very large with hundreds of elegant pavilions, but it was still not enough. This was the effect Chen Chen wanted. I'll tell my sworn brother to reserve a room for Elder Lon. Elder Lon can come whenever he wants, Night Sorrow said. There's no need for that. If there's no good seat, it's not bad to have one. Elder Lon said with a smile. At his level, he really did not care about anything. Chen Chen came and brought tea and snacks to Night Sorrow. My sworn brother, this is Elder Lon from the City Lord's mansion. There's often no seat when he comes. Can you arrange for him? Night Sorrow asked. Of course. I've thought about some things. I want to run the business well. This place needs to be a place where famous people gather. Of course, it's necessary to have dealings with the outside world, so no matter how good the business is, there's always a reserved pavilion. My sworn brother, your 4 pavilions are for you to receive guests, Chen Chen said. Then can you give me a few VIP cards? I'll go give them out, so it won't be awkward when my friends come and don't have a seat, Night Sorrow said. These are VIP cards. Brother, don't give them out carelessly. The rarer something is, the more valuable it is. Chen Chen smiled and handed Night Sorrow a stack of purple crystal cards. Okay, I know. I'll try my best not to hinder you from making money, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then Chen Chen left. He knew that it was not appropriate for him to chat with Night Sorrow and Elder Lon. He did not understand Night Sorrow's world. Night Sorrow handed a card to Elder Lon. It's okay. It's not bad to bring an old friend over for tea. Okay, I'll accept it. Lin High Street is developing very well, and is very unique. The City Lord's mansion will also cooperate with the patrols here. After accepting a VIP card, I have to do something. The main thing is that when I drink tea in the future, I won't hear any discordant sounds, Elder Lon said. $Almost a new chapter #, section U unspecified currency above. Then Night Sorrow thanks Elder Lon. Night Sorrow nodded. As for what you're facing now, it's not a big deal for the Donghao region to find trouble with you. They don't dare to do it directly and they can't. They can only assassinate you. As long as they don't succeed at that time, the Emperor of the City Lord's mansion will arrive. Elder Lon brought up another topic. Elder Lon did not say it too bluntly. It was enough that Night Sorrow understood. He was talking about the Donghao region's Donghao-ju. After drinking a pot of tea, Night Sorrow sent Elder Lon away, and returned to the Twilight Tea House to Chen Chen's resting place. At this time, Chen Chen was lying on a rattan chair, swaying back and forth. Seeing that Night Sorrow had come, Chen Chen wanted to stand up. Don't, I'll also lie down for a while. Night Sorrow rested on another chair. The two of them talked for a while. Everything in the tea house was going smoothly, and no one was causing trouble. They earned 60 to 70,000 Saint Spirit stones every day. It was a very good business. Brother, you're robbing us. A day's income is probably the entire wealth of a king. Night Sorrow was a little surprised. The Twilight Tea House was earning Saint Spirit stones too fast. They earned 1 or 2 million Saint Spirit stones in a month. It's said that the rarer something is, the more valuable it is. If one Saint Spirit stone is a big bowl of tea, who knows about the Twilight Tea House? Gradually the price will increase. The Twilight Tea House will be the most luxurious place in the ethereal empire. I've already made arrangements. If a few sisters-in-law come, they'll be received and arranged. Chun Chun explained his business experience and some of his arrangements. All right. Your business is doing well, but you have to be careful. Many people know that you're my brother. I have quite a lot of enemies. Don't go outside and don't let anyone harm you. Night Sorrow reminded. Chapter 1676. I'll be careful. Chun Chun nodded. Night Sorrow then returned to the Night Moon Villa. Where did you go? It took you so long to come back. Datura asked. Datura, Sikong Chiyu, Yang Lei, Aoyin Shi, and Lin Xianer were chatting with Song Ning. I went to drink tea with Elder Lan of the City Lord's mansion. You guys don't know, but right now Foster Brothers' Twilight Tea House is booming. It's hard to find a seat, Yishan said as he sat down. Twilight Tea House? It would have been better if you didn't mention it. Wu Fing and I went there once to see the snow and wind, flower, snow and moon, but there were no seats. It was really disappointing. Night Sorrow, do you know? It costs 2,000 Saint Spirit stones to enter the Sunset Villa's Snow Grace Pavilion. Isn't it just a snow tree made of ice and snow ore? Why are so many people entering with such a high price? Song Ning was a little angry after hearing Yi Shang's words. Old Song, let me ask you the truth. Do you still want to go? Night Sorrow asked. I still want to go, but it's annoying that there are no seats. 2,000 Holy Spirit stones are nothing. I can afford 20,000. Song Ning thought for a moment and said, it means that the business is doing well. So what if it's expensive? No one cares. Lin Xianer said with a smile. I asked for a few VIP cards today. Sister Xianer will give you one. Boss Zong and Brother Wufing can use one each. Night Sorrow took out 2 VIP cards and gave one to Lin Xianer and Song Ning each. Okay. It's good to know you, Night Sorrow. Song Ning said after taking the VIP cards. Night Sorrow, what should we do? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Ninth Senior Sister, look at what you're asking. Your face is the VIP card. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Aoi and the others smiled. Chun Chun knew them, so it was convenient for them to go there. While they were chatting, Qing Emperor arrived at the Night Moon Villa. What's the matter, Master? Night Sorrow asked. Yes, there is. I don't know why Donghao Mountain in the Donghao district has sent people to the vicinity of Star Moon Lake, Qing Emperor said. Something's happening at Mount Donghao. Night Sorrow understood that it was his quest at the Divine Castle that had caused trouble. How dare they? Don't they know that Star Moon Lake is now an area recognized by the Misty Dynasty? Song Ning slammed the table. The other party should know about this. That's why they've cut off one of the sources of stone that we used to construct Star Moon City from a place millions of miles away. This can't be considered as an attack. It can only be considered as an indirect suppression. The main materials that we use to construct Star Moon City are stone and wood. There are other sources for wood, but since the other party has cut off the stone, it's troublesome. Let's retreat for now and observe the other party's movements. The safety of our people is the most important thing, Night Sorrow said. Okay, then let's look around and see if there are other sources of stone. Qing Emperor knew that Mount Donghao was very strong. He had come today to explain the situation to Night Sorrow. He didn't want Night Sorrow to take the risk of going against Mount Donghao. After Qing Emperor left, Night Sorrow fell into deep thought. He then stood up and said, Aluo, Night Moon Villa is operating normally. Take care of the situation at Lin High Street. I'll go out and take a look. After Night Sorrow left, Lin Xian didn't say anything. Song Ning didn't say anything either. They would wait and see what Lin Xianer meant. After leaving Night Moon Villa, Night Sorrow took the teleportation array and arrived at Donghao District. He wanted to know how strong Dong Haojue was, and whether there was a possibility of fighting him. If there was, then he would kill his way over and get rid of Dong Haojue. Night Sorrow wasn't a soft-hearted person. If there was a conflict, then he would resolve it. That assassin came to kill him and was killed by him because he wasn't strong enough. Dong Haojue wanted to suppress Star Moon Lake. This was something that he couldn't tolerate. After teleporting for 4 hours, Night Sorrow arrived at Donghao District. He then found a restaurant to drink and listen to other people's discussions. Since Mount Donghao made a move against Star Moon Lake, then there must be some news. Night Sorrow wanted to listen to other people's discussions. After walking through 4 cities, Night Sorrow heard the news that he wanted to investigate. 1 month ago, Mount Donghao's young lord, Dong Haojue, broke through and became an Emperor Realm expert. 4 to 6 star Thearchs were called Emperor Realm experts. Dong Haojue had just entered the Emperor Realm, which meant that he was cultivating at the 4-star Thearch Realm. Dong Haojue was 3 stages higher than himself. Night Sorrow knew that there was a huge gap between them. After all, there was a difference of 3 stages in cultivation. In between, there was the line between the initial and the middle stages. However, being blocked at the door without saying anything or reacting wasn't Night Sorrow's character. After pondering for a while, Night Sorrow returned to Night Moon Villa. His main body stopped comprehending the realms and started to refine the Fire of Life and Monarch Realm, and the Arch Realm Evil Spirits Fire of Life and Monarch Realm elixirs. At the same time, he asked Datura to send the Gold Spirit to Star Moon City, so that it could continue cultivating its combat skills. Night Sorrow, what are you trying to do? Lin Xian asked as she looked at Night Sorrow, who was cultivating his spear art. She knew that the energy fluctuation on Night Sorrow's body wasn't because his clone was cultivating his combat skills. Night Sorrow's clone didn't cultivate any combat skills, but the energy fluctuation was still there. This meant that it was caused by his main body. Mount Donghao is provoking me. If they want to fight, I will accompany them. Night Sorrow kept his space-splitting spear and said, "What did you find out?" Lin Xianer asked. Mount Donghao's operation at Star Moon Lake was initiated by Mount Donghao's young lord, Dong Haojue. He just entered the Emperor Realm some time ago. Night Sorrow shared the information he found out. He is an Emperor Realm expert. How are we going to fight? Datura, who was standing at the side, asked. Emperor Realm expert. Emperor Realm expert is trying to scare me? If he is an Emperor Realm expert, are all the subordinates of Mount Donghao also Emperor Realm experts? I originally planned to cultivate slowly after reaching a certain level of cultivation. Since he forced me, I will play with him. When my main body's space-time energy increases and my soul power is saturated, I will fight. Night Sorrow stated his decision. Night Sorrow, isn't it a little risky? They can't attack Star Moon Lake now anyway. Datura said. It's not risky. If I can't kill an Emperor Realm expert, I will kill them. If they are capable, they can't retreat. Night Sorrow smiled. What do you mean? You don't plan to fight them head-on and take care of the areas where they can't withstand the attacks? Lin Xian could guess Night Sorrow's thoughts. Yes, but this is also considered borrowing the power of the Ethereal Dynasty. Mount Donghao has sealed off Star Moon Lake 1,000,000 miles away, which means that they are afraid of the Ethereal Dynasty and don't dare to attack directly. However, I dare to attack them. How many Emperor Realm experts does Mount Donghao have? Isn't it just 2? They want to capture me with just 2? They are thinking too much. If they want to play, I will play with them. Night Sorrow shared his thoughts. P Yong 6 GOM, free of charge. Read Novel 7. The thing you don't lack the most in life is passion. I am envious. Lin Xianer smiled. Chapter 1677. Since you've decided, I'll support you, Datura said. We'll have to wait for a while. My original body used the Monarch Pill and Flame of Life to increase my cultivation and soul power. It'll take some time for my cultivation to catch up with my realm. Night Sorrow nodded. He was happy that Datura supported him. How many times can your time acceleration treasure be? My space acceleration treasure can accelerate time by 40 times. Lin Xianer said. She wanted to help Night Sorrow. My time acceleration treasure is not bad. It won't take long. Night Sorrow said. The Clear Sky Pagoda could accelerate time by 50 times. Night Sorrow felt that it would only take about half a year, less than a year. Normally, It would take more than 200 years for an Emperor Realm cultivator to increase one's cultivation by one level. However, Night Sorrow used the best resources. The Monarch Pill could increase one's cultivation by refining it. The same went for the Flame of Life. Night Sorrow had an Emperor Realm Flame of Life. Not bad. How many times? Lin Xianer was a little stunned after hearing Night Sorrow's words. Night Sorrow should be in need of time now. He actually didn't need her time acceleration treasure. My time acceleration treasure is a heavenly god artifact. The acceleration effect is not bad. Night Sorrow stammered. He didn't want to hurt Lin Xianer's good intentions. Then it's 40 times more powerful than mine. Strong enough. Lin Xianer gave Night Sorrow a thumbs up. Lin Xianer and Song Ning met in the City Lord's mansion. Miss, what's going on? Is Donghao Mountain going to attack Night Sorrow? Song Ning didn't understand. Night Sorrow didn't mention this, and neither did Donghao Mountain. However, it's obvious that there's a conflict. First, the Great Elder's son, Xian, was killed by a mission enforcer from the Divine Devil Castle. Then one of the young lords of Donghao Mountain fell. It's said that he was killed while carrying out a mission from the Divine Devil Castle. Do you understand some of these things? Lin Xianer asked Song Ning. So complicated. How should we deal with this matter? Song Ning asked. What do you mean by how to deal with it? As long as Mount Donghao doesn't attack Star Moon Lake, we won't care. As for the rest, they can do whatever they want, Lin Xianer said. The people of Donghao Mountain are surrounding Star Moon Lake and robbing the resources of Star Moon Lake. This makes me very angry. This is simply a slap in the face. Song Ning was a little angry. She felt that Donghao Mountain was bullying people. They were bullying Night Sorrow because he was a newcomer to the celestial realm. Furthermore, they were bullying her friend. Face slapping. We still don't know who will be slapping whose face. That's right. I asked you to investigate the relationship between the celestial sect and Gong Yufan. Have you found anything yet? Lin Xianer changed the topic. Yes, I found out that Gong Yufan is very close to the celestial sect's elder Li Zhe. Through Li Zhe, Gong Yufan has also come into contact with Ling Daoxiu. In addition, there are traces of the celestial sect's development in the Guanyue mansion. Song Ning said. I can tolerate some small mistakes, but why do they always touch my bottom line? Guanyue mansion will be wiped out, and a new one will be established. Wu Feng will be the new mansion lord. Lin Xianer made her decision. Wu Feng is capable, but he only has a few subordinates. He doesn't have enough power, Lin Xianer said. Lin Xian then called for a meeting of the mansion elders. The only mansion lords present were Song Ning and Luo Yuandao. Of course, Luo Yuandao was now the enforcement elder. Lin Xian announced the results of her investigation and her decision. Previously, when Yuan Ji obtained the celestial sect's puppet and asked his subordinates to fight Night Sorrow, it was probably because of Gong Yufan. It doesn't matter if there are internal conflicts, but we can't betray him, Elder Lan said. I've decided to let Wu Feng establish a new mansion. Elder Lan, arrange a team of guards to assist him for a period of 100 years. Lin Xianer said to Elder Lan. Look at the section in Chapter C of the original version. I understand, Elder Lan nodded. Clean up the Guanyue mansion's forces with Wu Feng as the main force. Song Ning, you will transfer an army from the Songning army to assist. Also capture Gong Yufan and bring him back. If he resists, kill him on the spot. I'll leave the details to you, Lin Xianer said. Everyone in the mansion bowed and accepted the order. Also, isn't the celestial sect playing tricks? If we don't play any tricks, we'll just kill our way in. This time, I want the celestial sect's territory to be 80 million miles wide. You'll work together on this matter, Lin Xianer said, then left the mansion hall in a flash. The few people in the mansion sat down and discussed the details. Lin Xian just set the general direction and left the details to them. Elder Lan, what do you think? Song Ning looked at Elder Lan. Find someone to divine the situation of Gong Yufan's original body and clone. I'll bring people to flatten the Guanyue mansion. No matter if it's Gong Yufan's original body or his clone, I'll take him down, Elder Lan said. After finding someone to divine, They found that Gong Yufan's original body was in the mansion, while his clone was cultivating elsewhere. The location was also confirmed. It was in the Celestial Sect's territory, in the 1,000-level catacombs, not far from the Ethereal Dynasty. I'll be responsible for his clone in the 1,000-level catacombs. I'll also mobilize the Shadow Army of the Shadow Mansion. Song Ning, you can let Wu Feng lead it, Luo Yuandao said. It seems that Wu Feng and I have the easiest tasks. All right, we'll do it together at noon tomorrow. Elder Luo will also be in the 1,000-level catacombs at that time, so we won't alert the enemy, Song Ning said. All right, it's settled. Once we're done with our tasks, we'll gather at Song Ning and Wu Feng's location. Lord Battle Emperor wants us to travel 80 million miles, so we can't be less than 1 mile, Elder Lan said. Elder Lan was an elder of the Godfiend Castle, but his roots were in the Ethereal Dynasty. The Celestial Sect was disrespecting the Ethereal Dynasty by targeting the Guanyue Mansion, so Elder Lan couldn't tolerate it. Night Sorrow's clone was cultivating the space-time domain and improving his combat ability. He didn't care about what was happening outside. However, Ghost Monkey came to report the situation. You're saying that Gong Yufan was crippled by Elder Lan of the City Lord's mansion and brought to the City Lord's mansion? Night Sorrow was surprised by the news. That's not all. The Tsongning Legion's Flying Rock Legion, Umbra Manor's Umbra Legion, and the City Lord's Manor's law enforcement squad swept through Guanyue Manor under the leadership of Tsongning and Lord Wufeng. The City Lord's mansion ordered Guanyue Mansion to be wiped out. The new 7th mansion will be named Wufeng Mansion, and the mansion lord will be Lord Wufeng, Ghost Monkey said. No wonder I haven't seen them for the past 2 days. It seems that Gong Yufan did something that the City Lord's mansion can't tolerate. Go and investigate, Night Sorrow said. After putting away the Space Splitter Spear, Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea. He knew that only the Ethereal Battle Emperor could deal with Gong Yufan. He didn't know what Gong Yufan had done to anger the Ethereal Battle Emperor. Chapter 1678. Yang Tianlai was scared. He didn't know what was going on. He was worried that he and Gong Yufan had angered Ethereal Battle Emperor by going against Night Sorrow. Now that Gong Yufan had fallen, he was worried that he would be the next. Yang Tianlai knelt for 4 hours before Lin Piamiao appeared. Greetings, my lady. Yang Tianlai bowed. These 4 hours are your punishment. You need to remember that a person should live with dignity. You need to weigh the consequences before doing anything. This time, what you did wasn't worth it. Lin Piamiao said coldly. I know my mistake. Yang Tianlia's face was covered in sweat. However, he heaved a sigh of relief. He knew that Lin Piamiao had already punished him and wouldn't punish him. I didn't punish you this time because you didn't betray Ethereal Empire. Also, you know what humiliation is. Isn't it shameful to lose to Night Sorrow? Very shameful. If you know it's shameful, then you should be brave. Besides, Night Sorrow is upright. Why did you offend him for no reason? Lin Piamiao lectured Yang Tianlai. Lin Piamiao knew that Night Sorrow was the Merit Grand Sage. Whoever offended Night Sorrow wouldn't have a good ending. Hence, she reminded Yang Tianlai. It was my mistake. I won't do it again. Yang Tianlai said. All right, you can go back. I believe that after this incident, you will understand something. Lin Piamiao waved her hand at Yang Tianlai. Originally, Lin Piamiao was very angry with Yang Tianlia's actions. However, after dealing with Gong Yufan, she felt touched. She didn't want to hurt her old brothers anymore. This feeling came from the friendship between Night Sorrow and her brothers. She knew that Lin Piamiao's heart ached when dealing with Gong Yufan. It was Luo Yuandao who killed Gong Yufan. However, on account of their past relationship, they didn't destroy Gong Yufan's soul and gave him a chance to reincarnate. Guanyue Prefecture's territory was taken over by Wufeng Prefecture. The plaque of Guanyue Prefecture was also changed to Wufeng Prefecture. The Misty City's City Lord Mansion also announced the reason for dealing with Gong Yufan. The main reason was that he shouldn't have gotten too close to the Misty Dynasty's rival, the Celestial Sect. Furthermore, he allowed the Celestial Sect to develop in the Misty Dynasty's territory. This was a betrayal to the Misty Dynasty. On the other hand, the Misty Dynasty's mansion lords and elders led their troops to push forward. They directly killed their way into the territory of the Celestial Sect. After advancing for 80 million miles, they planted the imperial flag of the Misty Dynasty there. Soon after, the Flying Rock Army began to set up defenses. The other 6 prefectures also sent out a portion of their forces to consolidate their territories. Song Ning even shouted at the people of the Celestial Sect. If the Celestial Sect dared to scheme against the Misty Dynasty again, the Misty Dynasty would attack them again. Domineering. This was the domineering aura of the Misty Dynasty. So what if the Celestial Sect had 2 monarchs? There was no need for the Ethereal Battle Emperor to step in. The Emperor of the Ethereal Empire could fight. Not to mention that the Celestial Sect's Celestial Saint Emperor was so scared by the Great Demon King that he didn't dare to show himself. Even if the Celestial Saint Emperor was here, the Ethereal Empire would still fight. KC Original Version 3 *. Chapter C Section 9J above equals the Misty Dynasty had banished the family of Guanyue Prefecture's Gong Yufan as punishment. They weren't allowed to live in the former Guanyue Prefecture, which was the territory of the Wufeng Prefecture. The other 6 prefectures' territories allowed them to live and develop. This arrangement was mainly to prevent them from being hostile to the Wufeng Prefecture and hindering the development of the Wufeng Prefecture. This was a huge storm. If the fall of the Guanyue Prefecture and the rise of the Wufeng Prefecture were considered a major event in the Misty Dynasty, then the Misty Dynasty taking over the 80 million territories of the Celestial Sect was a major event in the nearby regions. In the past, the Celestial Sect had an emperor. Now they had 2 monarchs. However, the Misty Dynasty attacked them without any notice. This was how domineering they were. Of course, the Misty Dynasty had also issued an announcement, stating the reason for attacking the Celestial Sect. It was because the Celestial Sect was too despicable. In addition, they also stated that no matter which sect or force, as long as they dared to offend the Misty Dynasty, the Misty Dynasty would attack them directly. This was the style of the Misty Dynasty. Although Night Sorrow did not go out, news would still reach him. Ghost Monkey could investigate, and the God-slaying squad also had members who could do the same. Night Sorrow was happy for Wufeng. No matter how powerful Wufeng's enemies were, or whether they had an emperor or not, they would have to consider the Misty Battle Emperor's attitude if they wanted to touch Wufeng. In the East Hao Mountains encampment around the Star Moon Lake, a few people were discussing the current situation with Dong Haojue, who was sitting on the main seat. They were worried that the Misty Dynasty would attack the East Hao Mountain ruthlessly, and the East Hao Mountain wouldn't be able to withstand it. I've told the sect master about this matter. The Misty Dynasty prides themselves on doing things in an open and above-board manner. Then what reason do they have to attack the East Hao region? We didn't invade the Misty Dynasty like the Celestial Sect. So what if they protect the Star Moon Lake? We didn't attack the Star Moon Lake, so even if they want to interfere, they don't have a valid reason, said Dong Haojue. This was the conclusion that Dong Haojue had reached after discussing with the East Hao Mountain's Mountain Lord. The Misty Battle Emperor wouldn't go back on his words. Besides, Dong Haojue had told his father that he was avenging his younger brother. The East Hao Mountain's Mountain Lord didn't ask about the details. He didn't join the Godfiend Castle, but he knew some things and understood why Dong Haojue was doing this. Naturally, he supported him. He also knew that this wouldn't be a reason for the Misty Dynasty to attack the East Hao Mountain. With the East Hao Mountain's Mountain Lord's support, Dong Haojue's plan went smoothly. He contacted the World Edge Pavilion and cut off the Star Moon Lake from the World Edge Pavilion. Then, Dong Haojue did some research and felt that it wouldn't be a problem to completely cut off the Star Moon Lake because of the geography. The Star Moon Lake was an ungoverned area. The East Hao Mountain, the World Edge Pavilion, and the Misty Dynasty didn't occupy it. It was an empty area. There was also an empty area between the Star Moon Lake and the Green Water City. It wasn't part of the Green Water City, which meant that it wasn't part of the Misty Dynasty's territory. The Misty Dynasty ordered that the area around the Star Moon Lake was under the Star Moon Lake's name. As long as Dong Haojue didn't enter this area, he would be fine. Dong Haojue ordered his men to surround the Star Moon Lake from 3 sides and cut off the road. He was waiting for Night Sorrow to show up. As long as Night Sorrow showed up, he would kill Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow received all this news. Even a king from the black-yellow great world's Wuling Mountain was killed by Dong Haojue. After receiving the news, Night Sorrow was furious. However, he didn't lose his cool. His original body was still rapidly improving its strength. He didn't lack time. Night Sorrow informed the Star Moon Lake's members that they wouldn't come out for the time being. If they needed resources urgently, they would purchase them from the Misty Dynasty or mobilize them from the Nine Regions world. They wouldn't contact the East Hao Mountain for the time being. In addition, after learning that the World Edge Pavilion had joined forces with the East Hao Mountain, Night Sorrow had another grudge in his heart. Those who bullied the weak Star Moon Lake had to pay the price. Seeing that Night Sorrow was calm, Lin Xian'er felt more at ease. She was worried that Night Sorrow would act impulsively. She found that Night Sorrow cared a lot about the information about the Emperor-level White Tiger's blood essence and the Emperor-level Dragon's blood essence. He would ask about it almost every day. Chapter 1679. This matter was not difficult for Lin Xian'er. She did not say anything because Wu Lingfei's current situation was not critical, and she could still hold on. Furthermore, Lin Xian'er believed that the existence of the evil dragon poison flame was currently harmful to Wu Lingfei, but in the long run, it was also a test of her endurance and tenacity. It was also a training process for her body. In addition, out of concern for Wu Lingfei, Night Sorrow also had the motivation to work hard. Xiaohou and the other two arrived at the Star Moon Mountain Villa. Your Highness, they've gone too far. The three of us will go fight them. Xiaohou's eyes were full of anger. He, Xiandaozi, and Shang Wanhong knew that Star Moon Lake was surrounded and were very angry, so they came to Night Sorrow to ask for help. Back then, the three of them had followed Night Sorrow and rampaged through the Chaos Realm, killing everyone. Now it was difficult for them to accept this. They've gone too far. Uncles, don't be anxious. We must vent our anger. I have a plan, but it will have to wait, Night Sorrow said. Your Highness has a plan, so we'll wait. When Your Highness wants to go out, you must call the three of us. Donghao Mountain is strong now, but in our eyes they're trash. How many years have they been developing? Give Your Highness some time. Even if it's 100th of the time, and Your Highness can easily crush them, Shang Wanhong said. I remember that Uncle Shangguan is the most stable. Why are you so agitated this time? Night Sorrow took out a tea set and brewed a pot of tea. It's not that I'm agitated, it's that Donghao Mountain is too despicable. Even if we can't beat them, we still have to fight, Shang Wanhong said. Your Highness, you don't know, but this hypocrite's temper has become very bad after staying with Your Highness. If it's not killing this person, it's killing that person, Summer City said. This is the courage of the people of the Chaos Realm. Uncles, go back first. When we kill and burn, I'll definitely call the three of you. We have to vent our anger, Night Sorrow said. Summer City and the other two left. After getting the answer they wanted, they returned to Linhai Street. Right after the three from Summer City left, the members of the God-slaying squad arrived. Long Jin, Liang Yu Yin Huang, and Qin Zhen came together. Their goal was the same as the three from Summer City, which was to represent the God-slaying squad in battle. Aha! Uncle Xia and the others just came. Just like you guys, they also want to fight. Actually, the one who wants to fight the most is me, but I'm still lacking the right time. Go back and wait for the news. Don't give in when I'm about to fight, Night Sorrow said. More I equals new/most I fast. Previous 8D Captain, you're wrong. When have we, the God-slaying squad, ever been soft? When will I, Long Jin, ever be soft? Then let's go back and wait for orders. Long Jin left with Liang Yu Yin Huang and Qin Zhen. Your primal chaos realm is quite interesting. Donghao Mountain can easily produce a heavenly monarch, right? The people around you are all kings and sovereigns, but you still want to fight. Looking at your aura, those who don't know would think that you are a group of emperors. Song Ning, who had come to see Lin Xian'er and had tea with her, said, This has nothing to do with cultivation. It's strength of character and bravery. With such a fearless group of people, it's hard for the primal chaos realm not to rise. Lin Xian'er directly refuted Song Ning's words. People with bravery and strength of character could not be underestimated and had to be respected. Yes, we are not afraid of any battle. As long as someone dares to bully us, we will fight back. We just need to wait a little longer. There's still the World Edge Pavilion. This matter is not over yet. Knight Sorrow finished speaking and went to the training ground to continue practicing his spear. The World Edge Pavilion is really something. Why did they get involved in this mess for no reason? They know that Starmoon Lake is a force recognized by the Ethereal Dynasty and Knight Sorrow is a lord recognized by the Ethereal Dynasty. They are really brainless. Lin Xianer was a little angry because the World Edge Pavilion did not give her any face. I should have told Lord Battle Emperor to send an army over to kill them, Song Ning muttered. There's no hurry. The Ethereal Dynasty's attention should be on the Celestial sect now. Besides, Wufeng Mansion has just been established and needs to be stabilized. Let Donghao Mountain and the World Edge Pavilion jump around. I have a feeling that they won't be able to jump around for long, Lin Xianer said. Why do you say that, Sister Xianer? Song Ning did not understand. That's a ruthless person. He cultivated to the Emperor realm in 200 years. What will he be like in another 200 years? Why are there always people who can't see through it? Are they really blind because their lives are over? I really don't know how to explain this phenomenon, Lin Xianer said. It can only be explained by being blind. Sister Xianer, that Twilight Tea House is really good. Yesterday, I took Wufeng to the Snow Grace Pavilion and felt that it was really good. They really do business there. The environment, the tea, and the service are all first class. The 2000 Saint Spirit Stones are really worth it. Sister Xianer, shall we try it tonight? Song Ning looked at Lin Xianer and asked. You only felt it when you went with Wufeng. If I want to go, I'll go alone. Knight Sorrow and Aluo can also go with me, Lin Xianer said. What's going on? Why aren't you going with me? Song Ning was stunned and asked. I won't disturb you. Wufeng is not good at communicating. You should help with the construction of Wufeng Mansion. Also, go and inform the people of Gong Yufan's family to not have any ideas. This way, they can live peacefully, Lin Xianer said to Song Ning. She didn't want to kill anyone, so she reminded him. If the people of Gong Yufan dared to cause trouble, even if she didn't want to kill them, there would be people who would. After Song Ning left, Lin Xianer watched Knight Sorrow cultivate the space-time domain. Seeing the power of Knight Sorrow's space-time domain, she was very impressed. As long as one couldn't suppress Knight Sorrow in terms of domain, it would be very difficult to defeat Knight Sorrow. In the space-time domain, the effects of time acceleration and deceleration were very obvious. The space was layered and it was very difficult to attack Knight Sorrow, unless the attack was very powerful. Seeing that Knight Sorrow had finished cultivating, Lin Xianer clapped her hands and said, Knight Sorrow, your space-time domain is really powerful. If I can't suppress your domain, it will be very difficult to fight with you. The space-time domain is very strong, but there is still the sovereign attribute domain. I can't relax at all, Knight Sorrow said. You're right. However, it's extremely rare to see someone with the sovereign attribute. Currently, there are Emperor Realm cultivators with the sovereign attribute, but they are all stuck at a bottleneck. It took them countless years to deduce that they have the sovereign attribute. It's not necessarily complete. How can such people be emperors or monarchs? They might even be emperors. There won't be any conflict between you and them. You're too tired. Let's go to Twilight Tea House's Admiring Moon Pavilion. It's so famous, it would be a pity if we don't try it, Lin Xianer said. Sure. Ji Dao, where's Aluo? Knight Sorrow asked Ji Dao. The madams went out together. I wanted to protect them, but I was chased back, Ji Dao said. Chapter 1680. Knight Sorrow and Lin Xianer arrived at the Twilight Tea House. A receptionist welcomed them, and they went to the Moon Admiring Pavilion. It's really beautiful. The design is very original. After sitting down, Lin Xianer said. There was no need for the staff. Knight Sorrow was a tea master himself. After cleaning the tea set, Knight Sorrow brewed a pot of heart-cleansing tea. Lin Xianer took a sip of tea. After the effects of the heart-cleansing tea were felt, she raised her head and looked at the bright moon in the sky. I've lived in the heaven realm for many years, but this is the first time I feel that the moon is so beautiful. It's as clean as water. Isn't it written on the door of the Twilight Tea House's moon-admiring pavilion that there are moons everywhere in the world, only the twilight moon is different? This shouldn't be an exaggeration, right? Night Sorrow asked with a smile. Tell your sworn brother to stop business for 2 days and change the structure slightly. Just raise the price and double it. People with deep pockets won't care about such a small price like drinking tea. It will only make the Twilight Tea House more famous and become a unique symbol of the ethereal dynasty. Lin Xian'er said. My sworn brother is good at doing business. Sister Xian'er is good at this too? Night Sorrow asked with a smile. This involves the inner thoughts of people. If it's too easy to get, it won't be precious. Lin Xian'er explained. At this time, Chun Chun came and brought 2 plates of tea and snacks. Night Sorrow introduced Chun Chun and Lin Xian'er to each other. Night Sorrow, do you remember this tea and snacks? Chun Chun looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Yes. The osmanthus cake from Zhiyuan village. It's been many years, and it's always been in the depths of my memory. Don't sell this. If others can't appreciate it, it'll blaspheme the beauty in our hearts. Night Sorrow nodded. This was something in the depths of his memory. When he went hunting, Aunt Lin made this and then wrapped it in oil paper for him to carry. Vyong, Jiu and I free read, novel 7-inch This isn't for sale. Your sister-in-law made it. It's only for our family to try, Chun Chun said with a smile. Sister Xian'er, this is my favorite thing when I was young. Night Sorrow took the tea and refreshments plate and put it in front of Lin Xian'er. If you don't want to share it with others, then I have to try it. Lin Xian'er smiled and took a piece, then tasted it. I don't know if others can appreciate it, but I like it very much. The next time I come, Boss Chen can give me a plate. If Miss Lin likes it, that's not a problem. In fact, deep down, I still hope that someone will appreciate the things I like, Chun Chun said. I really admire you. I'm not just being polite. Lin Xian'er nodded. Just enjoy it. Night Sorrow, I have good news for you. Do you know about the enlightenment tea produced in the unbounded wilderness of the 9 regions world? Chun Chun looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow nodded. Yeah, I've tasted it before, but it's very rare. I only managed to get a little bit of it when I was helping the realm of unbounded desolation. He remembered that the Lord of Roaring Tiger City had given Wu Lingfei some. The good news is that I've successfully planted and grafted it. The first batch of enlightenment tea has been produced. Chun Chun took out a small teapot and placed it in front of Night Sorrow. Brother, let's not talk about your cultivation talent, but you're definitely a genius in other aspects, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then Chun Chun left. Let's go. Let's go somewhere else and try the enlightenment tea again, Night Sorrow said, holding the pot of enlightenment tea. Lin Xian'er nodded and carried the tea and snacks tray. Night Sorrow smiled and took Lin Xian'er to the Shuya pavilion, then brewed a pot of enlightenment tea. After drinking it, Lin Xian'er was quiet for a while, then opened her eyes. The way of tea is really broad and profound. This enlightenment tea will be a great shock. The Twilight Tea House is amazing. You have a VIP card. What are you worried about? You can come whenever you want, Night Sorrow said. The VIP card only proves that you have a seat. Do you think you don't need to spend sacred spirit stones? Song Ning and Wu Fing came over. No. The isolation formation here isn't strong enough. We'll have to ask someone to take care of it when the time comes, Night Sorrow said. What? When you came, we just happened to see it. We didn't scout it, Song Ning said as he sat down. You have a VIP card, but you're still not satisfied. You want to eat and drink for free. Night Sorrow said to Song Ning, who reached out to eat from the tea and snacks tray in front of Lin Xian'er. All right. It's a pity that I didn't invest in this good business. If I had shares here, I'd be eating and drinking for free. Song Ning took a bite of the osmanthus cake and reached out to take it again, but Lin Xian'er slapped his hand away. Sister Xian'er, you. Song Ning was stunned. This is mine. If you want to eat it, think of a way, Lin Xian'er said. I'll ask someone for it. I'll call the waiter. Song Ning pulled a rope in the pavilion. It was the copper bell used to summon the waiter. The waiter came and bowed. What can I do for you, sir? Give me 2 servings of this. Song Ning pointed at the osmanthus cake in front of Lin Xianer. Sir, I'm sorry. That's our madam's cooking. It's only for the owner to taste. The Twilight Tea House doesn't have this kind of dessert. Sir, you should look at something else. The waiter bowed. Kid, look carefully. I'm your VIP here. Song Ning took out the VIP card and waved it. The VIP card was issued by our domain master. It proves that you're our domain master's friend. Friends should respect each other and not be above friends. Please don't make things difficult for us. The waiter said in a tone that was neither servile nor overbearing. Aren't you afraid of offending your domain master and making her angry? I'll talk to your domain master about this in a while. Song Ning said. I'm afraid, but I'm from Bamboo Garden City. I'm from the same place as our domain master. Even if I lose my head in the next moment, I can't embarrass our Bamboo Garden City. The young waiter said. Just wait to be dealt with. Wait to lose your head. Song Ning slammed the table. If the domain master wants to punish me, there's no need for him to do anything. My head will come off for me. However, I can only say one thing. It's blasphemous for the Twilight Tea House's VIP card to be in your hands. The young waiter looked a little angry. Ai night sorrow you win. Song Ning sighed, because this young man, who had no cultivation, had never said anything that would cause him to lose his dignity, even if he was just an attendant. No one blames you. I'm more than happy to see a young man like you. Bamboo Garden City. I haven't returned to Bamboo Garden City for a while. I'll proudly say this. I'm the pride of Bamboo Garden City, and so are you. Song Ning, don't scare the children of Bamboo Garden City in the future. Night Sorrow said. You're Night. You're the domain master. The young man recognized Night Sorrow after looking at him. There were many statues of Night Sorrow in the 9-domain world. However, the young man had encountered difficulties when he entered the pavilion and did not recognize him. Chapter 1681. Xiao Mo greets the region leader. The young man bowed to Night Sorrow. You look familiar, but I can't tell. Maybe it's because we were born in the same place. Night Sorrow looked at Xiao Mo and said, My ancestor is from Zhiyuan village. His name is Xiao Kuan. According to the genealogy, my ancestor and the region leader knew each other. Xiao Mo said, Xiao Kuan, Aunt Lin's son. I grew up wearing the clothes that your ancestor, Aunt Lin, sewed. I didn't take care of Aunt Lin and the others. Night Sorrow felt a little sour because the elders of Zhiyuan village had all passed away. At that time, he didn't have the limitless longevity fruit. I'm very happy to see the region leader here. The young Xiao Mo said, Follow Boss Chun and gain experience. You can't fall behind in your cultivation. That's the only way to gain dignity. Night Sorrow said, Xiao Mo understands. Xiao Mo nodded. You'll have a bright future. Go. Tell my sworn brother to bring 2 plates of tea and snacks. Night Sorrow was very pleased. Although Xiao Mo's cultivation was low, his arrogance was in his bones. Night Sorrow, I'm sorry. I was just teasing him and got myself confused. Song Ning said apologetically. It's nothing. When I saw the descendants of Bamboo Garden Village, I felt quite emotional. The osmanthus cake in my memory was made for me by his ancestor, Auntie Lin. At that time, it was Auntie Lin who helped me sew and mend my clothes. This child has a backbone. I'm very gratified, said Yishang. We have more cultivation than him. In terms of personality, dignity, and strength of character, we don't have any sense of superiority. So he doesn't have stage fright at all. He may be afraid, but he definitely won't back down. Lin Xianer said. After drinking tea, Night Sorrow went to Chen Chen. Because of Xiao Mo? He told me. Chen Chen said. Yes, I want this person, Night Sorrow said. When I saw him, I thought about this problem. I felt that it was important to first train his social experience and develop his character, so I arranged for him to stay in the tea house. He had been working in 9 Regions City some time ago, and he had just brought him over. I think it's more suitable for you to train for a while longer. As for the cultivation foundation, no matter how useless your sworn brother is, it shouldn't be a problem for him to cultivate a foundation, Chen said. I was too anxious. Then we'll do as my sworn brother says. He did very well today. Also, if anyone tries to make things difficult for us, there's no need to compromise. We're doing business, not selling our face or dignity. Knight Sorrow emphasized his attitude, then continued with Lin Xian's suggestion before leaving. Knight Sorrow, you're not really angry, are you? Song Ning, who was waiting at the door, asked. No, I just think that this reflects a problem. Twilight Tea House is doing business, so there will be all kinds of customers, so principles are very important, Knight Sorrow said after leaving the Twilight Tea House. It's very simple. Tomorrow I'll ask the War Emperor to write a plaque. People with low morals won't dare to mess around. Sister Xian, or don't you think so? Song Ning looked at Lin Xian. Yes, it's very necessary. Lin Xian nodded with a smile. Song Ning was using her as a favor. That's not very appropriate, is it? It's a little unreasonable to trouble the War Emperor with this matter, Knight Sorrow said. Knight Sorrow, I apologize for touching some of the pain in your heart with my joke today, Song Ning said. Boss Song, you're boring. Everyone knows you were joking. Also, you helped me find an old friend, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Knight Sorrow, I like this Xiao Mo very much. Let him calm down in the tea house. When the time comes, I'll take him away, Wu Feng, who had been silent all this time, said. Thank you, big brother. Knight Sorrow nodded to Wu Feng. I like his character, I like his bravery. Wu Feng said the reason why he admired Xiao Mo. Knight Sorrow and Lin Xian returned to Starmoon Mountain Villa. After chatting with his wives who had not returned to the Nine Regions world for a while, they continued to cultivate. At this time, the energy fluctuations on Knight Sorrow's body were very strong. Even the leakless true body could not suppress it. This was a sign that his main body's cultivation was rapidly increasing. He was more anxious because Donghao Mountain was very arrogant now. They had surrounded Starmoon Lake. This was a slap in the face, which made many people angry. Song Ning went to the Linglong Pagoda in the City Lord's mansion and found Lin Piaomiao. She came with a blank signboard. You want me to do something? Next time, do it yourself. Lin Piaomiao glared at Song Ning. However, she waved her right hand and carved the words Twilight Tea House on the signboard. Thank you, Sister Xian. The osmanthus cake today was really delicious, Song Ning said with a smile. You're such a bastard. Are you planning to take this signboard to the Twilight Tea House and make them feel grateful? Then you can do whatever you want and eat whatever you want. Is that what you're trying to say? Lin Xian looked at Song Ning and scolded him because she knew what he was thinking. Sister Xian, you just casually waved it. If there's good food, I'll definitely share it with you, Song Ning said. Do I need you? If I want to eat, is there no way? Lin Xian glared at Song Ning and then went back to the Linglong Pagoda. Song Ning didn't put the signboard into his storage ring. He carried it with one hand and went to Twilight Tea House. He stood at the door and shouted to the receptionist. Lord Battle Emperor personally bestowed this signboard. Tell your boss to come and receive it. The only authentic copy, why the other? Pirated copy. Lord Battle Emperor personally bestowing a signboard was a big deal. Currently, only the signboard of the 7th City Lord's residence had been personally bestowed by Lord Battle Emperor. There was no Lord Battle Emperor's handwriting left behind. Now that Song Ning had brought Lord Battle Emperor's handwriting, Twilight Tea House had to welcome him respectfully. Chen Chen and the Twilight Tea House's receptionist took the signboard and hung it up. Chen Chen thanks Lord. Chen Chen cupped his hands to Song Ning to express his gratitude. After coming to the ethereal imperial city to do business, Chen Chen already knew most of the important people in the ethereal imperial city. You're welcome. I'm Knight Sorrow's friend, so I won't be stingy if it's within my power. However, Boss Chen, you can't be stingy with your refreshments. Song Ning's voice was lower when he said the last sentence. Refreshments. I understand. Chen Chen was stunned for a moment, then he remembered what happened not long ago. That's good. With the signboard bestowed by Lord Battle Emperor, no one will dare to make trouble in the future. If anyone makes trouble, You can take down the signboard and give it to him to smash. Let's see who dares to smash it. Song Ning pointed at the signboard and said, "Thank you for your advice, Lord. Chen Chen smiled. Do you think it's easy to shamelessly ask for a signboard? Song Ning muttered. It's not easy for Lord. In the future, I'll give you a discount and a VIP card when you come here. I'll make a mark so that the people below will understand, Chen Chen said. She took the VIP card with a mark and left. She was in a great mood. She didn't need the Holy Spirit stones. What she wanted was the feeling and the face. Of course, Twilight Tea House also gained a lot. The Lord Battle Emperor bestowed a signboard, which meant that Lord Battle Emperor was very sure of this place. How could business not be good? And NB says here's the first update. Chapter 1682. Father, it's so rare for the War Emperor to bestow us a plaque. He looked at the plaque excitedly. Hard to come by? It's all because of your uncle. Do you think he'll give us a plaque for tea and snacks? It's all because of your uncle. If the War Emperor didn't value your uncle, there wouldn't be a lord. Chen Chen looked at his son and said. He felt that Chen Zhukong was a little silly. In fact, it was not that. He just didn't think about anything and thought too simply. Chen Chen then went to the Night Moon Villa. He wanted to tell Night Sorrow about receiving the plaque. If there was a favor or something wrong, Night Sorrow could deal with it in time. After receiving this news, Night Sorrow smiled. I know about this. It's okay to accept it. It's just a tea house. We're not using the plaque for anything. It's good that you know. I don't care about the favor. You can pay it back when the time comes. Chin Chin said. Night Sorrow sent Chin Chin away. He didn't care much about this matter. A favor was nothing. Your adopted brother is not bad. He's doing well in business and he's also very principled, Lin Xianer said. He's afraid of bringing me trouble or a favor. It's mainly because he understands me better. Night Sorrow said. The people around you are good. They're all so strong. There's no deception. Lin Xianer was very envious of Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow only needed to focus on external affairs. His internal affairs were incomparably harmonious. It wasn't like this before. It was like the waves washing away the sand. The trash in our world who couldn't keep up with the pace were all eliminated. It's also been through the baptism of many wars. Night Sorrow said. Just like the ethereal dynasty, 2 vermin have been eliminated recently. Lin Xianer nodded. The survival of the fittest. Those who were not suitable were eliminated. This was the rule. Sikong Chiu held a family banquet and Night Sorrow invited Lin Xianer, who lived in the Night Moon Villa, to attend. Originally, Night Sorrow had planned to invite Wu Feng because he knew that Wu Feng did not have any relatives. However, she was stopped by Lin Xianer. I didn't guess wrong. Song Ning and Wu Feng are together. She must have gone to the Twilight Tea House. Haha. Not bad. Big brother Wu Feng is introverted, old and strong. We complement each other well, Night Sorrow said with a smile. You can tell as well? Lin Xianer asked as she looked at Night Sorrow. Of course, I can. From his actions, I can see that when Brother Seamless has something to do, Old Man Song would immediately take action without saying anything. When we went to the evil punishing land, Brother Wu Feng would never leave Old Man Song's side. That's how it is. Night Sorrow explained what he saw. Wu Feng has a repressed past, so he is a bit of a loner. However, he treats the people he recognizes with sincerity, and is a rare good friend. There is good karma between the two of you. Of course, not everyone can be your friend, Yi Shang, Lin Xianer said. A repressed past can be considered a knot in one's heart. Only when the knot is untied can one be happy. I was the same in the past. I couldn't find my parents and my family was suppressed. My life was more tiring and difficult. You could say that there was no reason for me to be happy. However, since we've made it through, I believe that Big Brother Wu Feng can overcome these difficulties, Night Sorrow said after inviting Lin Xianer to sit down. Yi Qingyan greeted Lin Xianer as Aunt Xianer and sat beside her. Yi Yujun and Yi Xiaolei also greeted them. Yi Xiaolua was not here, as he had returned to the Yuan Dao Celestial to cultivate. Night Sorrow, I really envy you. You can have a family reunion. Lin Xianer was a bit touched because she had not experienced such an atmosphere in a long time. It's simple. Find a good person and marry him. Then you will have everything, Yi Qingyan said. You said it yourself. Find a good person and marry him. Are there so many good people? Lin Xianer smiled and looked at Yi Qingyan. That's true. My mother always talks about me, but how can there be so many good men in the world? Besides, women don't have to marry. The Misty Battle Emperor isn't married either, right? Look at him. He is so mighty and domineering. Yi Qingyan nodded. How can a child make so many guesses? Knight Sorrow muttered. His wives were the ones who worried about the children. He did not ask about their daily lives. Father, this is not guessing. There is no woman who doesn't want to marry. It's just that they can't find the right person. I have never seen the Battle Emperor, but as a woman, I can understand some things. Father, this is what you don't understand. Yi Qingyan poured Knight Sorrow a cup of wine and said, and if you don't understand, then don't understand. Knight Sorrow did not say anything else because this was something he did not understand. Knight Sorrow cultivated every day. However, he noticed that Lin Xianer's attitude had changed. She had actually opened her mouth to give Yi Qingyan pointers. Knight Sorrow was grateful, but he did not say anything. Some things were enough for him to know. Yi Shang looked at Lin Xianer when he was resting after cultivating once more. Sister Xianer, I wonder when the Battle Emperor will allow us to enter evil punishing land again. Waiting like this is not a solution, Knight Sorrow said. There's no rush. Actually, waiting for a while is also a good thing, Lin Xianer said. Sister Xianer, I don't understand what you mean. Knight Sorrow looked at Lin Xianer in confusion, waiting for her to explain. You've obtained a lot of merit power this time. You have to stabilize it first. When your merit power is completely stabilized, you can enter evil punishing land again, and obtain more merit power. You have to know that merit power is not easy to come by, Lin Xianer said. I did gain a lot last time. My merit power increased by a lot. I'm now at the threshold of the merit great sage. If I improve further, I'll be at the peak of the merit heavenly monarch. However, the merit heavenly monarch is actually just a transitional stage. It's not like cultivation and realms where there are bottlenecks. Maybe I'll be stuck at the peak of the merit heavenly monarch, Knight Sorrow said. Knight Sorrow, I only know about the body of merit from ancient records. I don't know the specifics. What's your situation now? Lin Xianer asked. What's the situation? I've always been using my own cultivation to fight. I don't want to use merit power to suppress others. If I use it, I can instantly suppress those below the heavenly monarch level. This is the power of my words. Knight Sorrow explained his situation. Then why don't you use it? Lin Xianer asked. Everyone here is a cultivator. Cultivation is something that is painstakingly cultivated. Using our cultivation to kill our opponents is a fair way of doing things, said Yi Shang. You're mistaken. Did you pick up your body of merit? You obtained it by benefiting the world. It's accumulated step by step. The heavens gave you merit power for you to use, so that you can do more things. It's not just for decoration. Lin Xianer corrected Knight Sorrow's thoughts. And NB genuine initials #forward. I understand. If there's still no news after a while, I'll have to trouble Boss Song to ask. After helping Sister Xianer make a trip, I can fight with Donghao Mountain. Knight Sorrow heaved a sigh of relief. He wanted to solve the matter of Lin Xianer looking for Gue Yi while his cultivation was increasing. And NB says here's the second update. Chapter 1683. Dong Haojue led his men to set up many strongholds and sealed off the Star Moon Lake. There were also patrols going back and forth between the strongholds. He did not want the Star Moon Lake to have any channels of entry and exit. Young master, they have teleportation arrays that are connected to the outside. We can't seal them off, said Dong Haojue. The leader of the guards under Dong Haojue's command, Qing Mink, said. He was a demonic beast, Qing Mink. He was a shape-shifting demonic beast, so his name was Qing Mink. Don't worry. We are doing this to weaken his morale. I have already sent people to find out his whereabouts. We will destroy his morale first and then capture him. He will be doomed eternally, said Dong Haojue. Dong Haojue had a plan. If Qing Mink could think of it, so could he. He was forcing the Star Moon Lake to not develop for the time being, so that Night Sorrow could not stabilize. This was because he and Night Sorrow were not in the same Godfiend Castle region. If they were, he would have more ways to trick Night Sorrow. They were not in the same region. Although Dong Haojue was an elder of the Godfiend Castle in the Dong Haojue region, he was not an elder with real power. The one in charge was Elder Chiu. He could only obtain some information but could not control it. Hence, he could not use the Godfiend Castle to deal with Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow organized a batch of teleportation stones. It was important to move quickly in a war. If he wanted to fight with the Dong Haojue region, he had to be prepared before the war. On this day, Yishang was cultivating when he suddenly stopped. "What's wrong?" asked Sikong Chiyu. She was cultivating with Night Sorrow. "Haha, a senior is here. I don't need to receive him. I will be there soon," said Night Sorrow with a smile. At this moment, a few people walked out of the teleportation array. They were Shi Lai, Shi Yu, and Shi Tai. They were accompanied by Lord Yuan Dao. Night Sorrow knew when Shi Lai and the other two appeared in the teleportation array. Shi Lai was a one-star emperor, so he was not worried about being threatened. Besides, he trusted him very much. He let Shi Lai and the other two take the teleportation array to the Star Moon Lake. There was no need for Night Sorrow to receive them as Lord Yuandao sent them over. "Uncle Lai," greeted Night Sorrow. "Haha, Brat Yi, you're really something. Uncle Lai just broke through not long ago, and you're already ahead of him." Seeing Night Sorrow's cultivation base, Shilia was shocked. Every time they met, Night Sorrow would undergo a world-shaking transformation. "Uncle Lai, you're exaggerating. I just broke through not too long ago." Night Sorrow introduced Shilia to his wife and daughter. However, Lin Xianer was not around and she did not like such social interactions unless it was unavoidable. While chatting, Night Sorrow talked about his current situation in the Celestial Realm, but did not mention that he was besieged by Mount Donghao. Night Sorrow, father has just come out, so he doesn't know what's going on. However, I've stayed in the Primal Chaos Realm for a while. I've been to Star Moon City before, so I know what's going on at East Hao Mountain, Shi Tai said. "It's nothing. It's just a temporary predicament," said Night Sorrow. "Uncle Lai has just entered the 9th rank, so there's a limit to how much he can help you. Uncle Lai's avatar will stay in Star Moon City later. Star Moon City has a defensive array. If they want to break in, Uncle Lai will be able to fight back. In addition, Uncle Lai also sensed that there's an Emperor Realm expert in Star Moon City," said Shilia. Night Sorrow did not hide anything and told him about the metal spirit. However, he only gave a rough explanation. "Defend it well first, then we'll consider fighting back." Shilia was also hot-tempered. "Uncle Lai, is this appropriate?" Night Sorrow asked. He did not want to implicate others. There's nothing inappropriate about it. Although the Ice Dragon realm is made up of dragons, it's still part of the Primal Chaos realm. "You can do whatever you want," said Shilia. "All right. With Uncle Lai in Star Moon City, I'll feel more at ease. Chuyu, 9th senior sister, entertain Uncle Lai for the next few days. As for the other two, don't worry about them," said Night Sorrow to Sikong Chuyu and Yang Lei. "What are you talking about? Why don't we care?" Chuyu curled her lips. "Is there a problem with you guys taking care of yourselves? Do you still have to treat me as an outsider?" said Night Sorrow. "That's right. There's no need to treat me as an outsider," said Shi Tai with a smile. After settling Shilia and the other two, the Divine Devil Castle token in Night Sorrow's sleeves vibrated. Knowing that it was a message from the Divine Devil Castle, Night Sorrow arrived at the Divine Devil Castle. It was to exchange for a token. Night Sorrow did not do many missions, but because the missions he did were more outstanding, coupled with his fierce increase in cultivation and great potential, his identity and status had increased a lot. The Divine Devil Castle had already recognized him as a protector. "Missions? I haven't done any missions recently," said Night Sorrow. He still wanted to exchange for top-grade resources. "Missions don't come often. Even if there are, they might not be suitable for you. However, if there is one suitable for you, I'll definitely look for you, said Lung Lai. Night Sorrow left a jar of wine for Elder Nalen and Lung Lai before leaving the Divine Devil Castle. Did you see that? The energy fluctuation on his body is extremely strong. It's a sign that his main body's energy cultivation is increasing rapidly. This Dong Hao is definitely trying to shoot himself in the foot, said Elder Nalen. What can we do? Everyone thinks that they can be arrogant. Can't you see it now? Whoever is arrogant will die. Your Lord Battle Emperor is currently supporting Moonstar Lake, said Lung Lai. Yes, there's nothing that Lord Battle Emperor doesn't know about in the Misty Dynasty. That's why he made these arrangements. Dong Hao is completely muddle-headed for wanting to take advantage of this loophole. Even if he wins, so what? If he doesn't give Lord Battle Emperor face, the next time Dong Hao Mountain and the Misty Dynasty have a conflict, even if it's a small one, Lord Battle Emperor will kill him, said Elder Nalen. Haha. Yes, no matter how magnanimous Lord Battle Emperor is, he can't forget that she's a woman. If he doesn't give Lord Battle Emperor face, the consequences will be severe, laughed Lung Lai. In order to make Night Sorrow feel more at ease, Lin Xian asked Song Ning to tell Night Sorrow that the next time they enter Evil Punisher Land was set. It was set to be 3 years later. Lin Xianer had decided on 3 years because she felt that Yishang would be able to completely stabilize the power of virtue in his body. In addition, if she gave Yishang an accurate amount of time, Yishang would not be anxious about his own matters. After knowing the accurate time, Night Sorrow met Lin Xian and told her about it. 3 years. They really care about us. You have to know that the opening of Evil Punisher Land lasts for millions of years. I thought that it would be good if they could arrange it within 100 years, said Lin Xian with a smile. As long as Sister Xian can accept it. Night Sorrow put the matter aside after hearing Lin Xianer's words. He was worried that Lin Xianer would be anxious. See chapter YP. And on verse 4, because the Misty Battle Emperor was taking great care of Star Moon Lake, Night Sorrow didn't want to do anything without a reason. Moreover, it wasn't as if the Misty Battle Emperor didn't agree. Time passed very quickly. In the blink of an eye, half a year had passed. The energy fluctuations on Night Sorrow's body were not obvious because his energy cultivation base was very close to his realm. He wasn't far from saturation. When the cultivation base of his main body was about to end, Night Sorrow started to take action. First, he sent out the doppelgangers of the God-slaying team to scout for information. He wanted a map of Dong Hao Mountain's strength, and the important thing was the marking of the cities. Since they were going to fight, Night Sorrow wanted to make Dong Hao Mountain unable to withstand it. Chapter 1684. Everyone in the Starmoon Mountain Villa knew that Night Sorrow was about to make a move. Lin Xian also went to look for Night Sorrow to ask if he needed her help. Thank you, Sister Xian. This is a matter of the chaotic realm, so I won't drag you down with me, Night Sorrow said. This time he did not intend to ask anyone for help. If you need anything, just let me know, Lin Xian expressed her attitude. Sister Xian between you and Old Song, who is close to the ethereal Battle Emperor? Night Sorrow asked. More or less, but I don't contact him much. What's the matter? Lin Xian paused for a moment before saying. This time I plan to give the East Hao Mountain a big blow. The East Hao Mountain does not dare to attack the Starmoon Lake, because I have the ethereal dynasty's power. I have to greet the Battle Emperor. This is a favor that I, Night Sorrow, owe him, Night Sorrow said. Actually, it's not that. The ethereal Battle Emperor should have thought of this long ago and made preparations, Lin Xianer said. There are some things that need to be explained, Yishan said. Then I'll go greet him, Lin Xianer nodded. She admired Night Sorrow the most. He was responsible for everything he did. The members of the God-slaying team sent back news that Night Sorrow was drawing the layout of the East Hao Mountain. At the same time, Night Sorrow's original body had returned. If they were going to fight, they would go all out. When all the news was sent back, Night Sorrow drew a map of the East Hao Mountain. White areas were unimportant areas, red areas were areas that could not be attacked, and green areas were areas that Night Sorrow wanted to attack this time. Everyone stay at Star Moon Mountain Villa and wait for orders. Yi Shan instructed the god-slaying squad, Xiacheng, and the others before leaving. After Night Sorrow left, Songning and Wufeng arrived at the Star Moon Mountain Villa. Both of them looked worried. The East Haze Mountain is nothing to the Misty Dynasty. However, to the Star Moon Lake, it is an unshakable behemoth, Songning said in a worried tone. Don't worry, our captain is good at fighting the strong as the weak. In the past, there were many opponents who were stronger than us, but our captain can still take them down, Yin Huang said. He had full confidence in Night Sorrow. Yin Huang wasn't the only one who was confident in Night Sorrow. The other members of the god-slaying squad were the same. They were all in high spirits, waiting for their orders. Songning glanced at the members of the god-slaying team, but did not say anything. Since Night Sorrow wanted to fight, she could not discourage him. At this time, Night Sorrow's true body and avatar had already separated. They had both arrived at the eastern Sky Mountain region, and were setting up a teleportation array. He had been preparing for this battle for more than half a year, and had prepared many teleportation stones. This time he was going to pay a great price to set up a teleportation array net, so that he could attack the target city at any time. Since they were going to fight, Night Sorrow planned to cripple the East Haze Mountain. He wanted to deal a heavy blow to the East Haze Mountain, and make them pay the price. He had a grudge with the East Haze Mountain because of the Godfiend Castle's mission. If the East Haze Mountain wanted to kill him, then according to the Godfiend Castle's rules, it was up to the East Haze Mountain if they could kill him. If the grudge was involved in a battle between factions, then they would not be able to afford it. The Eastern Sky region was very large, but Night Sorrow had a lot of choices when setting up the teleportation array. The areas that Night Sorrow set up the teleportation array were all cities that he had marked on the map. They were all cities that could be attacked and had resources. They were all cities that the East Haze Mountain could not teleport to immediately. His true body and avatar were setting up the array at the same time. In addition, Night Sorrow was now at the Emperor level. Although his array formation cultivation had not reached the Emperor level, his speed was much faster. Night Sorrow set up a teleportation array hidden in an illusion array outside the target city. In a month's time, Night Sorrow finished setting up the teleportation array network. He used up nearly 200 teleportation stones, which he had accumulated and purchased during this time. After everything was set up, Night Sorrow returned to the Star Moon Mountain Villa in the ethereal Imperial City. He then gathered the 3 people from Summer City and the members of the god-slaying team. He also called Ghost Monkey into the team. Datira also wanted to go. Night Sorrow thought about it and agreed. However, he only asked Datira's avatar to go. He himself would stay in the Night Moon Mountain Villa. After gathering everyone, Night Sorrow set off with his men. Lin Xian, and Songning were still drinking tea. Songning did not know what Lin Xian thought of this matter, but she felt that it was very dangerous. Everyone's path is different. This is his path. Your avatar will hide in the Star Moon City. If the East Haze Mountain makes any moves, you will stop them in time. If something happens to the Star Moon City, even if we destroy the East Haze Mountain, we will lose face, Lin Xianer said. Okay. Don't worry, Mississippi. We will set off now. Songning nodded. She was staying here with her true body. Her avatar was on the blood battle platform. After hearing Lin Xianer's order, her avatar had already set off. After teleporting once, Night Sorrow kept everyone in the Clear Sky Pagoda and teleported himself. Night Sorrow teleported himself many times. He arrived at the teleportation array outside the target city. He then entered the Clear Sky Pagoda. The Clear County City is outside. It is one of the 3 revolving cities of the East Haze Mountain. I will enter the city to scout before attacking. Although you guys found that there are no Emperor Realm cultivators, safety is the most important thing, Night Sorrow said to the group. We are ready. Yin Huang and the others nodded. Remember one thing. Do not resist my soul power. We will kill and retreat as we wish. After that, we will clear the next city, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow went through the main points of the battle. Actually, it was the same as before. They had to be flexible and end the battle quickly. They must not linger. After making the necessary arrangements, Yishang exited the Clear Sky Pagoda and rushed towards the city. There were guards at the city gates, so Yishang didn't use the city gates. His soul force probed an empty spot on the city walls, and he easily entered the city. After entering the city, Night Sorrow began his scouting operation. In fact, he was not afraid. As long as the East Haze Mountain Lord and Dong Haze Mountain were there, he would not be afraid even if there were Emperor Realm cultivators. He was cautious to prevent his subordinates from getting hurt. In addition, Night Sorrow could not afford to make a mistake. This time, Night Sorrow wanted to accumulate some resources for the Star Moon Lake while attacking the East Haze Mountain. Dong Haze Mountain was planning to seal off the resources of the Star Moon Lake. Night Sorrow was planning to rob the resources of the East Haze Mountain. After scouting around and confirming that there was nothing out of the ordinary, Night Sorrow separated from his clone. His clone went to the teleportation array and destroyed the seal while his main body went to the City Lord's mansion. Before arriving at the City Lord's mansion, Night Sorrow called everyone out. "We have not robbed in a long time. One team from the God-slaying team will stay behind. The rest of you will attack in 2 teams. Aluo and Ghost Monkey will lead 1 team each. If anything happens, report back immediately. Rob and burn all the properties belonging to the City Lord's mansion. This time, we will engage in an extermination battle. In other words, we will not rest until the East Haze Mountain is dead." 9 First Team. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, the members of the God-slaying team were stunned. In the past, Night Sorrow only wanted to win the battle. This time, however, it did not seem to be the case. Chapter 1685. Night Sorrow had no plans to expand his territory. The current Chaos Realm was not suitable for that kind of development because the talents could not keep up. In the Celestial Realm, those who were not Heaven Monarchs could not do anything. There were only a few Heaven Monarchs in the Chaos Realm. If he took over the territory and gave it to the Ethereal Empire, it would be returning the favor of protecting them. This was also based on his principles. Night Sorrow did not want to be inferior to others when talking to them. If he owed them, he could not be righteous. Night Sorrow's clone arrived at the teleportation array. He did not even use his domain. He used the void steps and killed the guards of the teleportation array in a few flashes. He destroyed the teleportation array with 1 shot. Night Sorrow saw that the main body of the teleportation array was not small, so he dismantled it and put it away. Night Sorrow's main body, Long Jin, Yun Huang, and Liang Yu led a team of members of the God-slaying team, as well as the 3 from Summer City. They waited for the people from the City Lord Mansion to come out. Night Sorrow's space-time domain burst forth and enveloped the few Heaven Monarchs who rushed out. He used the destructive True Dragon art and froze them. Then he killed them with a few simple shots. Charge in and take out everything inside. Kill anyone who tries to stop you, then set them on fire. Night Sorrow's body flickered as he entered the City Lord's mansion. There was a teleportation array within the City Lord's mansion. The teleportation array in the City Lord mansion might be connected to various places in the city. Because the city was big, it took time to get to each place. It was much more convenient with the teleportation array. There was also the possibility that it was connected to other cities. Night Sorrow wanted to destroy it immediately. As for the team led by Datura and Ghost Monkey, Night Sorrow was not worried. Datura was a pseudo-emperor. Those below the Tharch realm could not pose a threat to him. Ghost Monkey was also a powerful Heaven Monarch. He was ranked in the top of the Heaven Monarchs in the Guanyua Mansion. After destroying the City Lord's mansion and destroying the teleportation formation, Night Sorrow did not continue to kill. As an emperor, killing King and Holy King did not give him much of a sense of accomplishment. After an hour of fighting, the 2 groups of people gathered at the City Lord's mansion. Datura handed a storage ring to Night Sorrow. This was the resource that her team had gathered. As for the other team, Qin Jun had handed over their resources to Ghost Monkey. Ghost Monkey did not care about the resources. He knew that in Night Sorrow's heart, the God-slaying squad was his true confidant, so he did not touch any of their resources. Don't resist. We're going to the next stop. Night Sorrow waved the reincarnation spear in his right hand and carved the word night on one of the broken walls of the city lord's mansion. Then he put everyone into the clear sky pagoda. After combining with his clone, he activated the teleportation formation disc and went to the teleportation formation outside the city. After taking the teleportation formation to the next target city, Night Sorrow disconnected the teleportation formation that he had used and took the teleportation crystal. In the past, when he started a war in the primal chaos realm, Night Sorrow would use the spirit explosion array to destroy the teleportation formation every time he retreated. However, he could not do that now. In the primal chaos realm, the teleportation formation's teleportation distance was not large. It would be completed in a short moment. The spirit explosion array had a slow time to explode, so it did not affect the teleportation. However, it was not possible in the celestial realm. The teleportation formation in the celestial realm had a very large teleportation distance. One teleportation would take 15 minutes, or even longer. This was also the reason why Lin Xian had taken more than half a day to go to the Heaven's Vault tribe. If the teleportation formation was destroyed during this time, then the person being teleported would be stuck in the void. Those who were strong could break through the void and return to the real world. Those who were weak would be killed by the spatial turbulence. Disconnecting the teleportation formation was also temporary. Night Sorrow had a plan. Now that he was here, disconnecting the teleportation formation was equivalent to cutting off the tail of the enemy's pursuit. The teleportation crystals in his hand all had serial numbers. In the future, if he wanted to teleport, he could just insert the teleportation crystal and split it. Of course, if the enemy found a diviner to divine, the teleportation formation would be destroyed. Night Sorrow had set up more than 200 teleportation formations. How much ability did the enemy's diviner have to divine? When teleporting, time and space would change. This would consume a lot of the diviner's energy. After swapping the teleportation crystal on the teleportation formation disc for Night Sorrow, he carried the clear sky pagoda and entered the target city. After investigating one round and finding no abnormalities, the original body and clone separated. The clone went to the teleportation formation while the original body went to the city lord's residence. After releasing the people, the original body went to the city lord's residence and started killing again. How could a city without Emperor Realm cultivators withstand Night Sorrow's attacks? Night Sorrow's original body and clone were equivalent to 2 emperors. Heaven monarchs and half-step emperors were all killed in an instant. After robbing, he set fire to the city lord's residence. Night Sorrow took out a map and made a mark on the city. Then he put the people into the clear sky pagoda and went out of the city to teleport to the next target. And in B. Front page. First post. After reaching the third target city, Night Sorrow disconnected the teleportation formation and killed his way to the city lord's residence. Then he released the people. A few people came out of the city lord's residence. The leader was a half-step emperor. "Who are you?" the half-step emperor asked. He didn't understand why someone would attack for no reason. "This is a clone. I won't ask where your original body is. If you don't want your original body to die, you need to hide well," Night Sorrow said. "Why?" The half-step emperor looked at Night Sorrow and asked. After knowing Night Sorrow's cultivation and determination, he didn't run because he couldn't. "My name is Night Sorrow. I come from Star Moon Lake. You will know the reason when you go back and ask Dong Haojue. He wants to fight with me, so I accept. Now let the battle begin." After speaking, Night Sorrow's space-time domain burst forth. Destructive True Dragon Art and Void Extreme Kill took away the half-step emperor. Naturally, the battle that followed went smoothly. An hour later, everyone gathered in front of the city lord's residence. "Not bad. Today's target is 10 cities. Night Sorrow said. "Your Highness, it's so comfortable to kill them like this. So what if it's an Imperial Emperor's force? If we want to kill, we can kill." Shang Guanhong's face was full of excitement. Annihilating an entire city in an hour was indeed fast. As night fell, Night Sorrow led his people to attack another city, which was the 10th city. After that, they teleported to their next target. After exiting the teleportation array, Night Sorrow removed the teleportation crystal that was connected to the previous teleportation array. Without stopping, he teleported back to his target city's teleportation array. The instant he finished teleporting, Night Sorrow entered the Clear Sky Pagoda. He then smashed the Clear Sky Pagoda to the ground, hiding it. Night Sorrow did this to avoid being divined by diviners. The teleportation array was surrounded by an illusion array. After divining, the diviners couldn't see the surroundings and couldn't determine the location. Night Sorrow, what's the situation? Datira asked. We just finished dealing with the aftermath. Everyone, rest and recover. This is a space with 5 times acceleration. 1 night is enough for everyone to recover. After recovering, we will continue tomorrow. Night Sorrow said. Aha! Sweeping 10 cities. This will definitely stun Dong Haoshan. The news has probably spread. They must be in chaos. Our Star Moon Lake is famous. Summer City said with a big laugh. And NB says here's the first update. You're tuning in to the Echoes of the Heart YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.